Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Paladins World Championship quarterfinals. One matchup. Emotionally, I think we've been through an entire day worth of emotions after one single game. Your technically bottom-seeded Pittsburgh Knights, they just upset Natus Vincere, moved themselves on to the semifinals. We have 4 teams moving on today, 3 left to find out, and in a big rematch from the semifinals of Hi-Rez Expo last year, Team Envy going up against Spacestation Gaming. Blue joins me on the desk for our second set of the day. And Blue, this is one, if you look at 2019 as a split, SSG have, I don't want to say dominated this matchup, but their map differentials 14-7, 3-1, 3 wins for SSG, 1 win for Team Envy. So SSG, I mean, they grabbed the first seed coming out of the qualifier week, but you got Envy on the other side, and this is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, this goes all the way back to last year. These two teams have always been head-to-head and battling it out. Long sets between the two most of the time. But Envy finished 7-7 in split 2, and they're kind of mediocre if you ask me. It's kind of like, you know, we talk about Evil Eye and Random Noob kind of being the same person. Which one are we going to get, the consistent one or the non-consistent one? And for right now, that's a hole with Team Envy. Which Envy are we going to get? SSG went perfect through the placements, not map-wise, but map.
Win-wise, They drop a single map to Kanga in the winner semifinals and a 3-0 in the winners finals. I like the way you kind of talk about Envy like that. I think that, you know, they have a roaring split 1. They put themselves in a great spot. Phase 1, they're in 3rd place at 9-5. Phase 2, it's close, not quite the same. They dropped to 7-7. And then remember, if you think back to the last game of Phase 2 of the PPL, they went up against Virtus Pro. They lose that set. Virtus Pro grabbed themselves 3rd seed, push Envy down to 4th. And that's the last time we've seen Team Envy, was all that time ago on the last day of Phase 2. And, you know, the way it's been, and same with Virtus Pro, potentially playing later today for the last time this year. We'll have to see. But what Envy do we get? I think that's an important question to ask, because we've seen the world champion caliber Team Envy this year. We've also seen the 7-7, you know, above average, but by and large an average Team Envy. And in a meta where I think healers play such an important role in these teams, Mr. Hayes, I think, needs to have a big game today, especially with Io kind of being where she's at. It's definitely a champion in their wheelhouse. Yeah,
that was the question for a lot of people. Can Mr. Hayes play the Io at the level, you know, of someone like Gera and Vex, who have been the cornerstones of bringing Io into this? So can Hayes bring that kind of dynamic? We've seen him play the Genos very well, the Maldamba. The question is on this stage, can he play the Io, especially against a team that likes to play Fury and Io, likes to play aggressively? You know, it's going to be a battle not only in the game, but in the draft to see who can get the aggressive comp and who can show their aggression first.
I agree. And, you know, SSG, if you kind of draw this Io thread, they're a team that started to pivot into the Io a little bit as well. You know, sometimes it's kind of a one team maybe plays it in this set. The other team either has to deal with it or ban it out because they don't want to play it. I think both teams very capable of playing that Io here in our second quarterfinal of the day. And 2 teams that have a lot of overlap champion pool-wise as well. Freeze God, I think Bomb King kind of specifically is maybe an outlier, but we've seen Freeze God on the Bomb King as well. But I agree. I think drafts are going to be very important throughout this set here today. And Envy need to get some momentum. You can see sets where Envy fall behind a little bit, start to get into their own head, and you need to have that resilience, especially in these knockout games. I kind of said it briefly on cast. This isn't, you know, PPL split 1 week 10. This is the quarterfinal. You win and you move on, or you go home. Their opponents, of course, in SSG. A bit of a different story for them in split 2, and I think that's an understatement. They come in a little bit late. 4-10 is their total win-loss in split 2. 1 of those over Envy, 2 of them over Kanga, and 1 of them over Renegades. We mentioned Freeze God. What kind of a role do you think he needs to play for SSG today?
For Freeze God, man, they've got to give him the Bomb King. I mean, Eevee is starting to take precedence in the past day or 2, but Bomb King's really been there since day 1 of the qualifier bracket, and he's still very good today for the little short amount of time that we did see him, but we saw Simsy on that. But Freeze God played the Bomb King yesterday, I believe, and the day before, played very well on it, and it's a champion that is not going to get banned, so you can guarantee yourself getting the Bomb King if you want to go that route. It's kind of like Drogos now, you know. Willow's kind of that blaster that gets banned out a lot. We've seen, I think this time last year, Bomb King was the one getting banned out. They had to move towards the Drogos. We've seen some players do very wonderful things with that. That's one of the reasons why I think Envy was a little successful last year, is because the Drogos came in play. So if Bomb King and SSG come out together strong, I think they'll have a good chance of taking down the defending champions.
I agree. Yeah, that's an extra weight on this matchup. Remember, Envy have been defending their world championship, or are on pace to defend their world championship all of this year. We've already seen one upset today. You know, by and large, I'd call this another one, but this is about as close as you can get. This is your 4th versus 5th seed matchup here in these quarterfinals. And these sets, I think, throughout 2019, relatively close. Bands down on the bottom of your screen, Shattered Desert, Frog Isle, both taken away. Ascension Peak and Timber Mill, both banned out as well. But to kind of go back to that point, all 3 of SSG's wins have been 4-1s this year in 2019. So quick sets, they drop a single map win 4. Then Envy's 1 win, which was week 12 of second split, was a 4-2. So it seems to be these two teams play one another, and one team just kind of controls the day.
Yeah, but going all the way back to last year, they went to a 7-game set in the semis.
Right.
And then again, here's the big thing. We've seen this with the Knights versus Na'Vi last match. Who is going to win based off of, you know, this is a bracket, this is an elimination. SSG's been playing all week like the Knights. So are they hot enough to take out a team that's had more time to prepare but less time playing up until this point?
Right.
That's kind of like what I want to know is Envy. How are they going to come into this against a team that not only won out in the placements, but is been playing for the last 3-4 days, and they're hot, they're ready to go.
That's true. You do wonder if that makes a difference. I can't imagine it doesn't at least make a little bit of a difference. You know, Envy have, of course, been back home, scrimming, practicing, all of that, but SSG have been here in the live environment, and they've been winning. It hasn't been a bad week for SSG to be here in the studio. They'll look to make it an even better week with a win over Team Envy. Waters Gate, map number 1, Envy versus SSG. Bans at the bottom of your screen. Khan, Makoa, Atlas, all taken away. Strix as well, taken away from SSG. And whoa, that is a first pick Ruckus here for Envy.
Big move, big play here against SSG. That is a lot of homework being done. Every single time SSG has played Waters Gate or Shattered Desert this week.
That's true.
And most of the time during the season, they have played Ruckus on those maps. So taking that away, especially with the 3 better off-tanks off the board in Makoa, Atlas, Khan, big play for Envy right there. Plus, we get to see Rubu on Ruckus.
Hey, I love that. Sadak is very good on Ruckus. Rubu is much the same. Ash is still on the table. It kind of seems like maybe the last off-tank pivot there for SSG. They're going to grab the Mave, though, who continues to play a huge role in the sets. All throughout the qualifier week, you see these big pop-off performances from the Mave today, earlier today in our first quarterfinal, no exception, 20-plus kill games, often with that champion. Team Envy, you know, I always bring up kind of this comfort drafting. I mean, if you get Rock Monkey on, say, Leon, and you get Random Noob on something comfortable for him, I think that's where they have the highest potential to play their best. When they're on those high potential pop-off champions,
next time you see
that's when Envy is the scariest to go up against. And Leon for Rock Monkey is definitely one of those. And there's that IO we've been discussing.
Yeah, and that's pretty aggressive, like I was saying. You know, set the tone early on, especially in game 1. Maybe even set the tone in the draft. They have the Ruckus, they have the IO. That's very aggressive. They still have room to go with the BK. BK would be a good pick for SSG here into Ruckus, however.
Yeah, could be. They're going to hover the Cassie at least, which, of course, is you know, on paper, a counter to that Ruckus, but looking like they may lock in their Ash here. You may ask, why pick your second off-tank when we already know that Envy has theirs? You want to leave that last pick open for maybe a little bit of a pivot, depending on what Envy choose to pick for the next 2. But it is going to be double damage, double front line for SSG, waiting on that healer for their last pick. And Inara being hovered for Envy. They're looking for another damage dealer as well, likely a flank for Random Noob.
The Inara helps because you have IO, so that's a lot of damage reduction, a lot of DR coming through. At the same time, though, taking Ash away from Envy, in my opinion, is kind of a hey, don't let them get Ashe, because Ashe can be played as a main tank, but just as aggressive as an off tank.
Yeah.
So that could give Envy a very double aggressive tank kind of play style with that IO behind them. Taking that away, IO's already taken from Envy, so you don't really need to take a healer that early if that is your mentality. You know, you can go Furia, you can still go Genos, either one you can still play aggressive with. Taking the Ashe away from the Envy, I think is a good play. Anara,
You are not
I think kind of
welcome
delays
here.
their play style a little bit.
I think so, and they're going to get a Furia to maybe expedite that play style a little bit extra. If this is a Furia locked in for SSG, do you like what they've drafted here?
Yes, that is aggressive. I think Envy was trying to go that route, but again, with the Ashe being taken, forcing them to take the Anara, that's still good for Envy, but I like the aggressive comp from SSG, especially in a map like Water's Gate.
They're thinking about it. I guess the alternative pivot could be, Genos, Damba, something like that. Mitao very good on all of them.
Yeah, you lose a team fight here.
Yeah.
It could be the last team fight for that objective.
Sure.
That mid fight. Plus Furia with the Cherish, 300% increase on distance. You can heal from a great distance on both
absolutely.
Shattered and Waters. So that's a good pick as well. Although on Waters, there's a little bit more line of sight for your heal, so you have to be very coordinated with that.
They do lock in the Furia. So game one of our second quarterfinal. This is a 4 versus 5 matchup. Whoever wins this goes on to face the Pittsburgh Knights next week at High Res Expo. Which one do you like better on paper for Waters Gate?
On paper, I like SSG.
Fair enough, but oftentimes it comes down to execution. Let's see who executes in game one.
Indeed. Welcome down to the Caster's booth. It's Fod and Kresnik once again back on the mic, and I'm excited to see both of these teams try and go at it once again.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think I agree with Blue. SSG's comp is really interesting.
Yeah.
3 global ultimates. Basically, you have Scout, you have Midnight, you have Inflame. That opens up a lot of space. Your ultimates don't need to have a target to hit. You can use them so safely. Get aggressive with that. Last year, people said in the semis when these two teams matched up, people were like, oh, that was the real grand final. These two teams battling it out. I wouldn't be shocked to see a game that close again.
Yeah, neither would I. Both of these teams, a lot on the line, just like PK last set. We have a lot on the line for this one again. And it's going to matter a lot who's going to be the one to come out on top versus Envy and SSG. Everything looking pretty standard so far in terms of talents, except for Slugshot. Yeah, most of the time you just see the shoulder bash talent actually be brought out, so she has that DR, but Slugshot is going to be the one they pick for now.
It's actually, I think, specific to the DPSs. It allows the Ashe to trade a lot better into the Leon, into the Eevee, a little more options. This Cassie is a huge counterpick for SSG, and I'm happy they took the Ashe when they did, because with the IO, Ruckus Ashe could have been playable by Envy, but they forced them onto the Anara, making the Cassie pick even better. Big game, affecting Luna, affecting Anara, affecting Ruckus. A lot of percentage damage boosting you up. And we start with the early cap time. Rashao trying to trade, gets chased away for now, but SSG are already starting to surround, and it looks like Maeve is going to strike now.
Rashad's first kill, actually, for SSG. Batoki is able to trade that out. Aries and Mr. Hayes are down out of the fight for only a brief moment. Farubu's going to join them in the dirt. So is Rachao. They're already trading out 2 for 2. And the fights are still going on, but the percentage is still in favor of, oh my goodness! You open it up with an amazing couple crossbow shots. You literally shoot it through the very, very crack of that wall right there. He literally threaded the needle. My goodness, FRZ. Everyone's here to play me, okay? I love it.
Start. That's the look you're going to need to see from SSG if they want to take it to the 3rd seed here. The 4th seed, excuse me, Envy. Right now getting disengaged. Toki is knocked back. Freeze is actually holding this pretty strong. Scout still gives CC immunity in this patch, so let him live through anything they try to throw at him. Cap time now evened up, and some aggression top left from SSG.
Rubu gets disengaged, and he has to actually back off now. He's marked for a big game, but FRZ's in a beautiful spot, just waits for the wormhole to actually be used so he can get more damage onto him, forcing him back. Aries rotating around 63% to 60. Envy are the ones with the leads, and Aries actually going to run into 2 of them, and he's actually going to run into 3 of them. They're all on top of him, and they actually make sure that they pick him off. Toki, once again, still gaining percentage for his team. 90% for Team Envy to SSG's 60 right now. It's going to come down to a lot, especially since Rockbuggy's going to go down to Sadok.
Also, a blind beam stops Random from rotating. Inflame coming in from SSG, that's a lot of damage, but no one's dying just yet. Aggression from Toki, almost takes down Mitao. Freeze followed up on by Random, and it looks like just trades back and forth.
Exactly. Sadoc's all the way in the back line, trying to make sure he can take care of that IO. Random Noob is going to go down, so is Mr. Hayes. He was already running him down, and now he's going to be able to swap targets back to the point. Sadoc with a nice double on Mr. Hayes and Rock Monkey. Now they're staring at Rubu. He's looking really low, and Sadoc with a young triple, 93% into a point capture conversion for SSG.
Great flank by Sadoc, and the chaos is honestly where SSG thrive. When the game is kind of going all over the place, teams figure out who to focus, that is where SSG is at their best. Always finding the right targets, always putting themselves in the right place in these chaotic games. So Dominance, Dome Shield, Midnight, all available for SSG. Hexafire, Enlightenment on the other side as well, and the Seismic Crash. A lot of damage from FRZ early. Rashao actually finding something. Seismic Crash comes out, I believe, towards the point, but I don't know if they can found anything. No one's going down just yet.
They actually used the Midnight. I don't know what the Seismic Crash was actually used for, but the Enlightenment comes out as well. Ares is still going to go down despite that. Rubu, once again, trying to find his opening, but Ares with a nice double. He's already popping off FRZ's response in kind with another kill for their team in the form of Rubu. Toki gets disengaged off the side. Mitchell getting the last hit, which he's going to get credit for that kill.
Everybody tried to steal that kill. As soon as Toki started going off the edge, Ares, Sadoc, or Mitchell are just like, mine, let me get it. And the Mitchell ended up winning out in the end. Hit scan beats all for that kind of situation. Ares in this top left. Everyone on Envy coming out of spawn a little bit stacked right now, which might not be that bad against the DPSs that SSG have. But Ares gets forced back with Rashao. They're both kind of low. Furia not the best at spreading heals, as long as multiple people are taking damage, but they're out of combat now. The fight is starting back up. Rock Monkey getting pushed back. I want to see, I think they can focus down one of the tanks early. Maybe bait Rubu in. Rubu's smart enough not to fall for that. Hexafire comes in. It looks like it's blocked by the shield, maybe? No, he's just around the corner.
Yeah, Rubu's going to use the Hexafire to try and find an opening. Rock Monkey's going to respond with being able to, the opening that Rubu was able to provide, find that kill onto FRZ. They try and body block Sadoc, not going to be able to do it. He's just going to be able to charge right out of there, but Ares is actually going to be taken down. Mitow's actually lifted all the way up in the air. They stack Crystal over there, but he's not going to go down. He's going to be able to retrieve, but Sadoc is going to be left. Wait, hold on. He just fell off.
Yeah, he was just trying to stack.
No, I understand.
Yeah, he just fell to the edge. Nobody shot him though, so actually no kill credit given to the team. That's actually a bit of credits not gained by Envy. So fortunate for SSG that that were to happen right now. Net worth heavily in favor of SSG, but that's to be expected. You win the first mid-fight. You win any mid-fight, you get 300 extra credits. Freeze barely surviving here. Might get away from Rubu. Baits him in actually with a big game. Gets very low, but Emitter saves him at the last moment.
Lots of damage. 20 seconds left along with the end flame. They're already staring at Toki. He's going to go down as well. Mr. Hayes trying to actually lunar leap his way out of the situation, but he only lunar leaps himself right into a couple daggers. Ares is also going to take care of Rubu, who's on the side already low. FRZ is top damaging right now on this Cassie, and the slash lives are actually looking really good.
Ares almost got a spam dagger kill at random all the way in spawn. That would have been super good for SSG. Does not get it now. No stagger earned for them. They're going to have to win this fight fair and square. Toki moving to the objective. Random trying to take this fight, but Maeve has the advantage. Dome Shield used. SSG wants to convert this.
Yeah, they do. They try to charge in on Rubu, who's all the way in the back line, trying to take care of that. The wall goes up thanks to Toki, and now they're going to have to try and apply as much pressure as they possibly can. Rock Monkey goes down. They drop they drop Luna directly on the point. Mr. Hayes tries to Luna leap back into spawn or tries to get in there, but he cannot. Actually gets taken apart. The kinetic burst along with the shoulder bash to try and peel him off. They're trying to knock him off and keep him as far away from the payload as possible, but it's not going to be enough with Ice Storm gets dropped, and the round is already over.
Ultimate advantage, though, to SSG because of that. Only Dome Shield, I believe, was used in the start of that fight. A couple things otherwise taken. They still have assert dominance. I think all the global ultimates are getting close to being up as well. This is Sadoc's triple in that mid-fight again. Coming in late, but just so much easily confirmed damage from that slug shot. Shielding the Be Gone, actually. I didn't even notice that reaction time. Great from him. And now just being able to chase down with Ashe, so impactful. Look at this positioning. How do you react to this slug shot? You can't get away from the shots if he knows how to aim. And Sadoc definitely knows how to aim.
He definitely does, proving it right there in that replay, and also proving it throughout the course of this game. To get FRZ already at the top of the damage chart. You've got 3 ultimates online with another building in the mist, the Inflame. Enlightenment is the only thing that's up on top of Team Envy's side with the Hexafire building in the mist. But once again, I believe the ultimate economy is towards SSG. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they're going to have all their globals in a moment. The only direct they have is assert dominance. Scout used early, so Sadoc knows exactly where he wants to go. Midnight also, they don't know where he's coming from. This is a huge assert dominance. He's stunning 3, but they need follow-up.
Very, very good triple stun right there, and they're actually going to be able to respond in kind. Rubu's trying to kill him, and he is going to be able to take care of that, but he's going to have to jump off of the side. He's going to make sure that he doesn't actually get staggered out, and he's going to deal with that situation. Double kill for SSG, and specifically Sadoc with 18% already building for them.
Sadak locking down this lane too. Using Slugshot just to poke at range, what it's definitely meant for. Delaying Rock, he has Enlightenment, but Sadak has his shield. Gonna have to use it early though. Battering Ram won't keep him alive. The stun maybe buys another moment, but it won't be long enough. Sadak's gonna go down.
The Inflame still gets used and goes out, but I don't believe Ares actually was able to get hit by that Inflame. He's not gonna be able to have it. He's trying to fight as best he can, but beautiful air rockets from Rubu. The body block from Machao is gonna prevent Toki from getting back to point immediately, but he's still gonna make it on top of there. Mitao just trying to fight 1v1, has to use the Enlightenment, but he dodges! And Mitao with the beautiful kill. You never want to 1v1 the support. Mitao is gonna be able to take down Rock Monkey, dodge that Enlightenment at the very last second, throws out the Pyre Strike as well. Sadak is still working right there, right next to Mitao, but he's eating so much damage. The shoulder bash is not going to be enough because he doesn't have that DR, and Mitao's going to go down.
Honestly, surviving that was worst case. Worst case scenario. That was sick, but Mitao wanted to die. And Sadak came back in to try to save him once he makes it out, and they just get staggered. They don't have a 5v5 fight for this. Great flank by FRZ to pressure out Rock. He knows he can't commit though. FRZ holding back, just keeping this lane, keeping them pressured. Rubu now diving for him. He has to disengage back up though. Now only Toki's pressuring him.
Yeah, but he's actually getting dealt with in kind by the rest of Team Envy. But Ares with a double, actually opening things up a lot, taking care of their healer, taking care of their flank, and now you have Rachao being able to deal with Rock Monkey. He's also trying to deal with Rubu, but Ares goes down thanks to Toki. Rubu once again all the way in the back. Just gonna try and converge, get right back around and deal with Toki.
See how they hold here. SSG with a decently forward defense, I think. The card's not too far, but Rock Monkey maybe extending a little bit on his own. I guess he just knew Rachao was going to miss, but this Inflame, if he hits those shots, they're going to connect for a lot more damage.
A minute and 40 seconds left. Random Noob actually has to blink back out. Use that word to make sure you can get the situation with Sadak just buying time in the background. Ares is also up there trying to get those daggers, trying to find those kills. He's going to be able to get Rock Monkey, and the rest of the team actually comes right back around to try and help him out. And he manages to still land the double. Rock Monkey, Mr. Hayes, and Random Noob, all three down, but Toki makes sure he tries to at least find an opening for his team by taking care of Ares.
Ares just can't be stopped.
Yep.
Every single time Ares decides to do anything, he's just taking two people down with him. So many kills on that Maeve, 10 already. High deaths, but he's just playing really aggressively, making the most out of the mobility that Maeve brings. Slash lines on SSG, on Envy. Not fantastic across the board. Great performance by Rubu, though, so far. The transition from using the machine guns to using the missiles. Very difficult to move from hit scan to projectile immediately, but he's been doing it fantastically so far. Ares getting pressured out though by Toki here on the side. At first he might have found a rotate to take down Rubu, but dodges the disengage, and SSG have to disengage themselves.
We've got 45 seconds left on the clock and remaining, and now Envy have to be able to make it back to their payload to try and push and start their aggression, or also start their zone and find their momentum. They're trying to look for a lot of things right now, but one thing they are not in lack of are kills. They're able to find 4 of them. 4 members of SSG are gone and down, but they've got 3 ultimates up. They've got the Midnight, they've got the Dome Shield, Assert Dominance, and they also have Inflame steadily building with the only ultimate in response being Hexify.
I gotta say, they're playing this Ruckus fantastically. Rubu's on a 12 streak right now. Biggest thing though, Envy has to stop SSG from finding a kill no matter what they do. It's like every time SSG decide to do anything, they're taking someone down with them. Mr. Hayes goes down. Ares is gonna find Rock as well. Another double for Ares, just running rampant in the backline.
He's been getting those two so much, finding them literally off on the side, able to actually capitalize on that. They use the Inflame just to make sure they can actually get this round and finish off the last 2 members that are remaining on Envy's side. They have 4 ultimates up to replace that as well. Assert Dominance, Midnight, you've got Scout, you've got 2 of the 3 global ultimates that are up along with the Dome Shield, but Envy have all of theirs.
Yeah, and those charge really fast though. I mean, Envy holding onto them was good. I think they don't have Enlightenment. I think that got wasted before. I think I heard it whiff about 20 seconds ago, but I mean, it is Rock Monkey on Leon. It is entirely possible for that to be charged by now. Only to tell Rachao there. He's he's a vocal member of their team, but not necessarily the strat caller. Rachao's definitely one of the primary focus callers for them, which I think buys them a lot of time in these chaotic games, right? You need someone who's just willing to sit there and scream the targets. That's what a focus caller is, for those of you who don't know. He's basically the one going like, Nara in the middle of the fights. Definitely very helpful for a team that wants to play as aggressively as SSG. Looking at the ultimates, yep, Enlightenment is the only one that is not up. Inflame, 40% though, that's close to basically even on the ult fight. Scout used first, we'll see what else follows.
We will indeed. All the shots are ringing true, finding their marks, finding hits, but no discernible kill yet. The Ice Storm gets dropped, the first one being Rock Monkey's kill. Decides to crash directly on the point. The Assert Dominance, I believe, in the back line, and you have 2 kills that come up in SSG's name. He's going to be able to dash right back onto the point, uses the Kinetic Burst again to try and knock him off, but Rubu does not want to die. He absolutely refuses with body blocks from Toki. He's able to find a double. Rachao tries to wrap right back around. Actually drops the shielding right down, but still, absolutely nothing. They still have the point percentage, and that's in favor of SSG.
A lot of ultimates used by Envy there too. Only Hexify remains, and that's not the easiest ult to use without a setup. Ares roaming on the side here, trying to spot them, and he sees the Leon. Uses Midnight, goes to strike potentially. I think they have some resilience by now. The Leon knows he's about to get aggressed on, but I don't think Rockmonkey can stop this.
I don't think he can either. They actually have to use the Hexfire to make sure they can't push forward any more than they need to, but Toki has no DR. Sadaka's going to go down, so is Rachao, and Ares was not able to find that last remaining dagger that he needed. 93% on the point for SSG, but the bodies are piling up, and still, Envy have this point control advantage right now. 39% for them, and still climbing.
Flame available for SSG. They're going to use it now to try to catch the people zoning. Actually, Mattel used it to survive, but it was poorly timed. He doesn't manage to get away. Barrick zoned out by Toki. I don't know if SSG have a chance to touch. Only Rubu zoning this left side, but just dismounting them might be enough when you don't have the battering ram on your shoulder bash.
93% to 96. Ares was able to touch. He tries to go in the back line, but we have a little bit of help from Luna being able to stun just for a brief second. They can keep getting that damage. Rachao is going to be able to take care of random noob, but still, Envy are the ones that are going to be able to convert this point. Once they sat on it, they did not leave, and that netted them this conversion.
And that's before they can get off of that conversion. Ruby gets stunned by the beam. Might actually get caught out here. Cassie just does so much damage to Ruckus. Scout coming in so they can try to stay aggressive, and Ares wants to be aggressive for sure. Takes some missiles to the chin, but they find Mr. Hayes in the back.
Mr. Hayes actually does get dealt with. Their healer is gone, and now you also have to deal with Rockmonkey as well. Once again, Mr. Hayes, Rockmonkey are gone. Some of the first two that we've been seeing going down in a lot of these mid fights and a lot of these point fights have been them. Nice flick shot from FRZ, actually able to take care of Toki as well as Rubu. Rachao's going to find that last hit, though. And 1:45 about to be remaining with 4 ultimates up for Team Envy, almost a fifth for them. And I mean, it's going to be looking really good for them.
No, I gotta say, Rubu has definitely been making this first pick Ruckus work. It was very early in the draft, but when it brings this much value on this map, I can see why it's worth it. Seismic Crash does not connect on anything, but it does potentially force out the defensive inflame.
The inflame does get used. Ice Storm gets dropped. Now they're trying to find targets, looking for anyone to try and kill. Random Noob is actually going to go down. Toki's trying to capitalize on that, but he already got big gamed. FRZ is using that disengage on Rubu on the side to get rid of him, but double once again for both teams by taking down 2 for 2. Another big game shot onto Toki is going to leave him looking shook and also dead. With 1:05 still remaining, you have the defense coming out from SSG. Random Noob tries to go in directly on the mid tower, where the team is ready to follow up and protect their support. A minute left, already prevalent for Envy to be able to try and push in.
Midtown cleaned up 2. I thought Rubu was going to go off the map. Midtown cleaned up 2 there, though, so it's a decent trade, even though you do lose your support. You have to be careful, though. All that damage is going to stick if you can't stay in the fight. Rubu trying to chase this down. FRZ's here to stop it. Midtown on the respawn actually saved Rachao and might get rocked for it.
Oh, actually turns around, tries to use the Enlightenment, but Rockmonkey goes down once again. Sadak is going to be the one that's taking care of, but a good wall is going to be able to block Rachao. Ares is really low in the back, has to back off, but they're now just focus firing onto Rachao. Deal with him with 25 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be a lot for Envy to try and push this in.
Good to see what picks SSG can find on the sides here. They have a couple ultimates. Unflame's the only one not available, but it's very, very close. As Envy back off of the cart because they know how dangerous it's going to be here. So Dark takes a lot of damage, actually. Hexafire might force out the dome shoot, but Rachao found a safe corner. But how long is it going to be safe for?
5 seconds. You have the Enflame that you have to use. The Wings of Fire are at their back right now, able to actually fight back, and they push Toki off of the point and don't allow him to be able to push this one in. You've got a 3-3, and you've got 4 ultimates for SSG with none in response on Envy's side.
That was perfect timing. I mean, that was just fantastically timed by SSG to make that happen. Rockmonkey has been, I think, as soon as he started living through the dives from Ares, this game has definitely changed a little bit into Envy's favor. They're more prepared for the aggression and coming out. The only people positive on Envy, though, are the tanks. Toki, Rubu, I think, having a pretty solid job. Top fragging both of them. Not that high in the damage charts, but they're always finishing up on these kills. Better look on the other side for SSG, but they need to find this last conversion to make it worth it. 4 ultimates up for them. 3 very close on Envy's side. A lot of resilience is up too, so that Midnight is now... Everyone has Resil 2. That means Midnight is at the minimum duration. It won't last longer than like 1.5 to 2 seconds. That means you have to either go very quickly or only use it to save a teammate from distance. Ooh. Scout used now. Resilience has no effect on that. Rockmonkey burning down Ares early, but nothing found yet. This Midnight comes in, and Sadak is taking advantage of it.
Yeah, Sadak is trying to move in, has a good couple shots onto Rockmonkey, but Rubu is there to body block and provide that PO for his teammate. 54% for Team Envy. 3 ultimates up as well, and you have plenty of time to be able to try and clap back if you're SSG. 15% for them. They're just now able to actually touch directly onto the point. Good shots from FRZ are going to leave Random Noob looking low and forcing him to back off.
Great assert dominance by Sadak to quick fire it. Begon comes in, but it hits the rock. It doesn't go off. Dome Shield now used on the point to buy SSG some more time. No kills yet either way, but the health on Envy is looking rough.
60% for Team Envy and 54% for SSG. They use so many ultimates, all of them on SSG side with the Inflame still building. Ice Storm is available and the Enlightenment's coming up as well. Ice Storm gets dropped and so does the health pool of Toki on the side. He's going to be dealt with by Sadak and still trying to push him back, but he's being healed by Mr. Hayes. The DR is going to be a little bit too much to stun in the back line as Sadak is trying to push, but still he's living, being able to fight Toki Rubu, the two of them, both frontliners, dealing in kind with 1 damage, 1 frontliner, another support, and you got him down 84% despite the Inflame at your back, and you're looking good if you're Team Envy.
Well, great time by Rashao finding 2. This isn't over yet. FRZ still in the back trying to peel for Rashao. No dash, no failsafe. Just FRZ remaining, but the spawners are here. Random tried to get some cap time. Sarkisir, what ultimates are there? Almost Hexafire. Rock flanking on the side, gets the alignment off, but he's going to trade for it.
Nice body block. FRZ gets rid of Random Noob, and Rock Monkey goes down to mid-tower, but Rubu is not going to take that in kind by making sure that he avenges his fallen comrade. Overtime is there, and an even beautiful wall. Luna is there. FRZ was actually able to touch the point as well, and now Barrick, Rachao has just made it back. The point fight is not ending. Hexafire actually gets used as well. The Ice Storm gets dropped. Rachao goes back to point, and they're able to melt him. Envy are going to take this first game.
Is it an Envy SSG set if you're not guessing to the last moment? Because I don't think it is. What a close round for them. Envy take their map pick of Warder's Gate in the last possible moment. Great use of the ultimates there at the end. And that Ruckus pick in the last seconds, Hexafire there, saved the point. That was really what won them it. They definitely got to be confident in their drafts after that. But there's a lot more Paladins to be played. Envy have to keep this momentum going if they want to be able to take them down.
Yeah, they definitely have to make sure that they harness what they had on Warder's Gate, that map right there, and try and carry that over into the set as it continues. But SSG still making it close. I mean, FRZ was standing on the point, capping for a little bit. He caused the overtime, 99% already for him. I mean, it was looking good and really, really close. Envy, though, are still going to be able to take that game 1. Right after this break, we'll be right into game 2.
One more game, and Team Envy are able to pull it out in 7 points. Something about today in 7-point games. These two teams neck and neck, standings-wise, and also on Warder's Gate. But a 0.7 fight goes the way of Team Envy. Blue, we talked about the ruckus a little bit in picks and bans, and seemed to pay off for Envy here.
Yeah, it definitely did. Rubu, he looked really weak towards the beginning. SSG had control of that game and the map for the most part, but once Rubu started to get going, he realized what was going to be happening on that left side. Then he started to push in there with his off-lane DPS, and then he found some success. The Hexafires were pretty well placed towards the end as well. I mean, a lot of these games today have already gone to a 7-point. I think a lot more will. But I think this matchup right here is the one where we could see 7 points for 7 games. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised. We have, let me do this math really quick. This is dangerous. 7 points, 7 games, so 49 total points here in this set. I guess in the wheelhouse of possibility.
I'm proud of you, Dave.
That was quick.
Quick math. You got it.
That was quick. That's a high five. That's what you hear right there is the high five. Team Envy, they pull out the win here. 15, 10, and 19 for Toki. 19, 10, and 24. And that's not one of your 2 damage dealers. That's your Ruckus, who is nearly at that 20 kills. And, you pick Ruckus for a variety of reasons. Getting kills, maybe it's a little added benefit. But I don't think you go into a game, if you're Envy or your SSG, expecting your Ruckus to get you nearly 20 kills.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing about this set. It's not about kills, because if they go to 7 points, it doesn't matter how many kills you get.
True.
It matters when you get your
the
kills. Are you able to get the key kills that you need on defense, on offense?
Yep.
And then right there at the end, when it was 3-3, that point fight was lasting a good while. I thought it would be over. Nope. Over this time. Nope. You know, so it's going to go back and forth. These two teams always have really good games between themselves in elimination matches.
Yeah, that's true. These tend
Everything
to
in the season you could throw out the window because this is the world stage right here.
3 of the in-season games only going 5, and SSG won all of those. Envy won the 1 set that went 6. Map 2, waiting in the wings. Jaguar Falls. It is. Is this another map, Blue, where you maybe expect to see Ruckus contested?
I don't like Ruckus on Jag Falls, but I have seen some teams find some success with him on this map in the most recent weeks.
Sure.
So I
maybe
don't think it's impossible. I personally don't like it here. I mean,
sure,
you can always pivot to other things. You can, well, I was going to say get Khan here, but
never mind.
Yeah, never mind.
The timing works out perfectly there. I guess it does sort of depend on where these drafts go because it was Khan, Makoa, Atlas all banned out with the Strix as well in our last game, and that kind of opened the door. It's either a Ruckus or an Ash at that point, and Envy opt for the Ruckus.
See, this is tough for this is a tough matchup for these two teams with off tanks because, in my opinion, I don't think either team can play Atlas at the top level.
That's fair, actually. I think that's a fair point.
You know, like most people grab Atlas and you're like, oh man, they've got Atlas, automatic win. I don't think that when either of these teams grab Atlas.
I don't think Sadaka is the most comfortable Atlas player.
And we've seen Rachao try with it a few times as well.
Yeah, Rachao. I don't know if I picture Rubu being a huge Ruckus player or Atlas player, excuse me, either. Yeah, I think that's a fair point.
Now, Makoa, I think both teams have great Makoas in Rubu and Sadak, so that's a dangerous one to get through. But you can't let Atlas through and not let Makoa through at the same time unless you leave Khan. So this is really – these are mind games here. We know those 3 are going to be banned, so it's kind of like a race to the off tanks.
Right.
Ruckus, Ash.
It was Ruckus, right. First pick for Envy last time. It's going to be Willow here for SSG. Merrick maybe for Tulki, and one more Maeve jumping out into this set. I would assume random noob, but I assume a lot here on the desk, and oftentimes I'm proved wrong. So it could be Rock Monkey there as well, depending on what the last damage pick is for Team Envy. But lock down some point control with Tulki on that Barrack. I think that's a strong start for them.
Yeah, 2 things here. You were mentioning you don't know who's going to be playing the Mei for Envy. I liked that last game. Freeze God was playing the Cassie and not the Maeve, and Ares was playing the Maeve. I think they both can play those characters very well, but I think Ares hasn't been showing up on the Cassie as much as he should have been this week so far. He's been great on his other hit scan and his other champions, but the Cassie, especially when he's had to play it this few times this week, I think he kind of underperformed. Not that he did bad.
Right, but it provides a little bit of pivot for them. We brought up Ruckus, and they're going to pair it with the Cassie. You know, again, I think that this is an area where both of them can play both of those champions. It's likely to be Ares on the Cassie now with Freeze God on the Willow. You pick the Cassie not only for all of her benefits, but it's a big counter to Ruckus, so let's take her off the table.
Yeah, I think Envy should have taken like a Leon here instead of the Maeve. Here's why. You can let SSG have Maeve. Are they going to take it after they have already taken Willow? Willow's going to go to Freeze God, which means they need Ares to get a champion. Also, if you grab Leon on Jag Falls, that kind of gives you the advantage if you want to go Drogo's Bomb King.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially if they go Maeve Willow.
That's not going to be the case, though, because Maeve is taken by Envy. But I agree with that thought process. Envy down to 1 last pick for themselves. Io stays in the game, this time over for SSG.
Oh, baby.
Moji has been a Na'Vi staple on this map. A couple times the Hype Unit minor league team would pick her up as well. Envy hovering it here. Not a team that Moji jumps out to me for, not because it's bad, but they just haven't really played her all that much.
Yeah, but I said
Jaguar
this
Falls in the same way that Na'Vi had. Would you be surprised to see Envy lock her in?
No, here's why. Last week, I did a predictions video, and the thing I said with Envy is, they're not playing great. I don't think they'll win Worlds. But somehow, if they do, I wouldn't be surprised if Meta Pusher just figured out some miraculous meta for themselves. So I could see the Moji coming through.
Could see it. they swapped the hover to that Leon that maybe you expected a little bit earlier. I think Leon probably provides you a little bit more consistent damage onto that Willow.
I think you take
They're
the Bomb
thinking
King
about
here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Bomb King either. I was surprised to see Bomb King foregone entirely throughout this draft. It is Leon who is locked in. Again, maybe for some of that long-range confirm. All right, 10 champions locked in. SSG, they do pivot to the Ruckus. Do you like what SSG have got for Jag Falls?
I like SSG's composition, but I like Envy's to go against it on Jag Falls, because I like the Leon pick, even though it's not a BK. I like it into the Willow, into the Ruckus as well, so I like Envy this time.
It's all down to execution. Game 1 was as well. That one went 7 points. Game 2, I think both teams get themselves something that they would probably consider comfortable. You get the Willow for Freeze God. I think Cassie on Ares, very strong there for him as well. And I still like that SSG took that Cassie away from Envy, because I think if you lock Ruckus and Inara or Io at that point, Envy are maybe taking the Cassie for their side. But that's not to be. Let's see if Envy can go back-to-back in Game 2.
Let's see, indeed, my friends. I don't get the emoji game, but that's okay because they lock in an even better character, Leon, for sure. And they're going to be able to make sure they can play on Jaguar Fall as well.
Someone they needed. They needed a way to deal with that Willow, 100%. Emoji and Maeve, I don't think would have been the comp to really deal with it. Now it's a little more pressure on FRZ. Willow has to perform under the pressure from that Leon. He has the capability to do it, but if Envy just play inside, they just play kind of away from them. It's possible they just hide it out and don't really feel bothered by the Willow. But having a Genos healer means that I think they're a little weak to getting dove inside there, especially against an Io, right? You just pocket your Ruckus, send him in, they can't burn him faster than he burns you. And that's a quick turn in the favor of the team with the Ruckus, but we'll have to see how Envy decide to play. They could also just play outside in the open, burn down the Willow before the Freeze can spam them. Time will tell. This fighting here. Barrack actually coming in front, and they're not contesting the point just yet. Rochelle goes the long way. Looks like they want to be the ones playing inside.
15% for Team Envy, and still steadily climbing. They're going to have to back off. Toki getting a little bit too much damage. Doesn't want to eat too much and potentially die. And so SSG are now going to take their turns on the point by just straight up walking on there. Toki giving them a little bit of respect. Everyone's firing. Their marks are being hit on both sides, but nothing definitive yet except for point percentage.
You can see how smart Rock's playing, too. Rock knew that at first he was going to be flanking from that angle, so he just sat back and watched it. Ares maybe caught out here a little bit. Ruckus. Sadak pulled back. Toki now diving. They're pressuring Ares, but he's surviving through this onslaught of tank pressure, plus the Io pocket. Sadak baiting people even further back. Even though they're so distracted, Envy are still capturing the point.
They're able to put on a lot of pressure just by literally standing on the point and making sure they can complete that objective. 63%, and a nice blast shot to be able to make sure they do a lot of damage to those that are grouped up. But still, 84% for Team Envy. Nothing has really changed since this fight has just been starting. Toki is still unable to touch, but he's going to be able to back off, make sure that he can only do the overtime. And now they're just going to put Luna in that place of Rachao. The Midnight actually gets used, so now they're going to try and find some aggression, and they're going to be able to find it with the first blood. 2 minutes in is going to be on top of Ares, 72%, and now they're able to body block Rubu. They took care of him, but Rachao is still going to go down. Sadak firing emptily into a shield. Doesn't want to push forward too much, but Metao's going to go down. The Rockets are going to be able to do a lot of damage to those that are grouped up, but still, Envy are going to be able to they can capture this point.
That grouping death wall by Envy is actually crazy. It's so hard for SSG, I think, to find the opening for it. They have Rock just sitting a mile away from whatever choke point that SSG want to push and just denying them with Leon Cleave. And they're stopping Freeze from getting in, so the Willow damage won't really be able to deal with that either. Rochelle gets his DR focus forced kind of early. Ruck is pushing on the point, so a little bit of aggression from SSG, but Sadak's low and he has to back off.
2 minutes left. Nice wall. Be able to make sure that Lulu cannot get out of this situation. The Fae Flight actually gets used, but he is forced to use the Assert Dominance. Rock Monkey make sure he is able to pick off Ares in kind, and now they're able to respond with another kill directly onto Sadak, allowing Team Envy to push forward more and more. With a minute 45 still left, they have plenty of time to convert this.
Wow, actually, Midtown thinks he has to use the Be Gone, but actually Ares hits the shot as a random, and Midtown stays out and gets picked off. Flank on the car from Rochelle just to buy some time. He's applying a lot of pressure here. Forcing out the Dome Shield, that's not bad either. Sadak dives in the back line to take out Midtown, but Rochelle goes down, and now they're not contesting the point.
Rock Monkey tries to use his light minute. He does actually find the hit with Rubu. A lot of damage coming out, though, onto Ares, and that's going to be a big deal. They've already taken him down with 2 ultimates up on SSG's side. You already see the dash coming in from Random Noob, and they're forced back into spawn with a minute and 10 seconds left. Rachao is going to try and come back out and try and contest the payload. He is there to stand, and he's going to be able to take take down Random Noob in the process.
Midtown actually loses Luna. Doc dives into the backline and takes out Rock, though, and Rock has kind of been the only person stopping Freeze from getting aggressive, so Freeze immediately pounces, takes down Mr. Hayes, most likely takes down Toki. That's what SSG needed. I think they just need to find a way to take down Rock. How do you take him down?
Yep.
He plays so careful. He's always so smart in the back of his team. In the back of a stagger. Onto Envy. It's Ruby from SSG. SSG managed to hold. But now they have to figure out what they want to use all-wise here. They have Seismic Crash. They have Hexafire. What are they willing to spend defensively?
Right.
There's not too much time left, and anything they spend is something they're not going to have to break through the Envy line when the next point fight breaks out.
20 seconds left and remaining with Team Envy having those 3 time and space and the Midnight. Almost assert dominance, but 3 ultimates. Really 4 are still available for SSG. With 15 seconds left and the timer ticking down ever so slightly, it's going to mean a lot to see if they can end up converting this payload push or if they're just going to let it go. But they're actually trying to find an opening with the Seismic Crash. They are using an ultimate, and still Barrick does not go down despite that. He's moving her behind the car, using it as a shield. Toki is going to go down still, regardless. Random Noob on the side, throwing out the daggers. The boy goes up, but her CC immunity comes out, allowing her not to be able to be lifted up into the air like that. FRZ is taking care of Rock Monkey by shooting constantly, firing down directly onto him. Rubu's going to be taken care of as well. And now we have a double kill by Ares and a 1-1 tie for Team Envy and SSG.
I genuinely thought it was actually over for SSG there. When you give up that positioning, the far edge of the map to the backline DPS, especially one that gets better at range like Leon, it's so hard to retake that. They have such a massive advantage on you, especially when the impetus is on your Cassie to push them out. Cassie has... It's much harder to confirm at long range than Leon, for sure. SSG Freeze got fantastic slash line so far, but Envy has the damage lead. Random, actually ahead of Rock Monkey, which is surprising to me. I feel like Rock Monkey has been commanding this game so far, but streaks on SSG's side. Makes me think it might actually be the other way.
Yeah. It's going to come down to, of course, good old-fashioned execution and Paladins gameplay to be able to see who's going to be able to win this Jaguar Falls. If it's as close as it was last time, I think we're in for an absolutely beautiful
I don't think
set.
my heart can take it.
I don't think I can either. I mean, literally on the desk, I was like melting at the sight of seeing PK win, but that's a digression. We already see that SSG are diving in the back line. They're firing directly on the Rock Monkey. The alignment comes out into the sky, but it's not going to be enough to kill him. So not only will he not get that execution back, or at least refund some of the ultimate back, but he's going to make sure that he also dies in the process with 15% for Team Envy. The Assert Dominance being used. That's actually going to be able to kill Ares, and FRZ on the side is going to have to use that flutter to try and get all the way around. They're going to converge back on the Random Noob. The shots are coming out from Rubu, but still no kill yet. Everyone's being healed back up, but they're actually going to have the Barrett come right back around to make sure they can follow through on that, and they will. 36% for Team Envy. They threw time and space at midnight and a dome shield almost there, and they're not stopping the push with the Hexafire being used. They're looking at Rubu, and he's going to have to back off as well. Rock Monkey slides in, but has to slide his way right into a gravestone as they actually make sure that Sadak is going to be able to find that kill.
That was a great Hexafire just to keep Rock Monkey zoned in. Rubu doesn't have any more dashes. Good splash by Sadak. Ares might have gone a little bit too aggressive.
Dome shield.
Dome shield gets forced out, but it's off the point. If they could just kite back and play on their objective control, this could be a good look for SSG.
42% and steadily rising for SSG. Them still being in control of the point. Luna actually gets taken off, or I should say, just really more so taken out by Team Envy. They're able to continue this pressure going, especially with 87%. Sadak all the way in the back line through time and space. Gets shot, but goes wide. Doesn't matter. 72% for SSG with a good flank coming out. They're already grouped up, and now they're able to push him back. The wall goes up. Sadak diving a little bit too deep, but he's going to be able to try and make it out. He is, and a nice seismic crash to peel for his teammate. FRZ, Sadak, both of them get kills. Rachel is going to be able to find that one onto Rubu. They're trading out 1 for 1. So many kills, one after the other, but SSG are going to be the ones that come out on top.
Great seismic crash there at the end. Both of the tank ultimates, honestly, were what won that mid-fight for SSG. That, and Envy didn't need to really group in that doorway. They opened themselves up to that aggressive dive, and that's what you kind of have to do with a Ruckus. You have to be forcing the issue a lot of the time. So they kind of gave it to him. I'm going to be honest.
Nice wall.
This is a great wall by them. I don't know if they'll be able to catch Rubu. That Battering Ram is so impactful.
They won't be able to. They need to. They use the fake fly. They already know that they're low, firing directly into window. They're just using this to try to be able to push, get them to pretty much reconsider trying to push up. Mr. Hayes is so low. He gets dealt with in kind. The ceilings find their damage, but he flutters down. FRZ trying to live with 37 HP, but Toki is still going to take him out. Random Noob and the rest of Team Envy are not giving up any ground. They don't want to be able to lose this fight, and they're still holding on, but a lot of damage onto both of their damage dealers is going to leave them a little bit shaken and being forced to sort of hold their ground, not trying to give it up. The wall goes up to make sure Rachel can get out, and healing being spread out all around from Midtown is going to leave this back at the situation and positioning they were at a few seconds ago.
I want to see what else SSG want. I mean, SSG could use the Be Gone here. It's not fantastic on mid, and if they find a way to get a cheesy kill with it, I think that'll be a great way to open this up for them. Both DPS is stacking here on the left side. It's very important that they take this. They want to have this backline angles, and Random tries to challenge them, but immediately dies to Ares.
They use the assert dominance on the side, right to that little room, is going to be able to do what he can, but the wall actually comes up, so Doc's all the way in the back. They didn't even realize he just walks back there. The door is wide open. Sure, I'll walk on right through. Thanks for inviting me. An unwelcome guest is going to be in the back line of Team Envy. They're going to deal with him. Random Noob trying to get back in spawn, and he's going to be forced all the way back in and allow a point conversion for SSG.
Sadak just held the clipboard. They thought he was supposed to be there. He looked very important. Walked straight in. Envy had nobody watching Secret. That's disastrous. I think it's because Random was probably the one watching it before. He goes down immediately, and Envy doesn't adapt. They don't have anyone keeping their eyes there. Hayes has to reposition if Random goes down. He didn't. Held in that one safe corner, which ended up being the least safe position possible. And SSG take a 3-1 lead on the back of that great flank by Sadak. Both the tanks, fantastic performance so far, and they're about to have all their ultimates. Envy have most of theirs as well, but they used assert dominance to try to hold that point before they realized where the flank was coming from. Mr. Hayes actually dying more than both of his tanks here, and that's not a good look. He needs to play a lot more safe, or at least pay more attention to the enemy positioning, or SSG could just take this map away from them.
Yeah, they can. They have to be really, really careful. I mean, they converted those points, and were actually able to now find themselves at a 3-1 advantage. 10 minutes, once again, available and ready for, well, it's 10 minutes overall in the time, but the Hexfire actually gets used directly on the side. They're forcing Sadak all the way into the corner. He's going to have to back out. The daggers are coming out, but he doesn't actually get hit by those last few, which allows him to live and make sure they can still have control over the point. The seismic crash comes out despite the dome shield. They know where Toki is. They're looking for blood. Midtown with a Be Gone in the back line. Now they're looking at Rubu. He's going to be dealt with. Random Noob looking really, really low, but not dead. And still, this is going to force SSG back, but they still have 2 ultimates.
Rachel's going to just die on point. Just use your DR, live as long as you can on the objective. Maybe trade 1 kill if you can. Ares, ooh, this is a little bit too late. He had the ability to get out, but he decided not to take it. He goes down quickly, thankfully for them, but 35% with double comeback mechanic. That's going to be very difficult. A good stun in the back, actually. Might keep Mitao alive for a little bit longer, but he already used the Lunar Leap. He can't get away. Maeve has too much mobility. Midnight means I don't know if this is going to be possible for SSG to touch.
So Doc's all the way on the back line. Once again, was actually able to touch for his team, but he's still going to be able to go down. The Fake Flight gets used by FRZ. He's trying to spread out as much damage as he possibly can, but I don't know if anyone's actually going to be able to touch, especially when he lands on that. Rachel trying to make it back, and he does. They aren't able to convert the point with 57% for SSG. They're holding on and trying to make sure they can close out this round. Luna gets dropped in the main, but Rachel's going to go down.
Let's see if Eversy's not going to die for this. I think this is just Envy's point for sure. Actually, Sadak goes in, forces an Enlightenment. He takes it straight to the face and dies. There's no way they turn this around. Yeah, they have too many kills here. FRZ, I think he's on the side running away at this point, but no way. Midtown getting chased down. Rachel finally here to peel, and FRZ goes down to the backline, but he actually trades with Mr. Hayes.
Yeah, he actually makes sure he gets rid of their healer. That's going to stack out a lot of their pressure, but still, Random Noob is going to make sure he takes care of Midtown being a little bit too low and allowing Maeve to be able to capitalize on that. Sadak's actually diving in. He actually was able to burst Rock Monkey entirely and force so much for SSG to find their opening. The kill on Random Noob was great, but finding that pick on Rock Monkey was even better.
For sure. Now, SSG, I think they want to aggressively zone here. I don't see why they would, especially after that shot by Ares onto Random Noob, and Telki is soon to follow, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's already really, really low. Sadak is going to go down. Rock Monkey comes in as a life insurance policy for his teammate, and now we have the rest of Team Envy on the side by Statue trying to apply as much pressure as they possibly can. FRZ gets dealt with by Rubu, and now they're just looking at the remaining members of SSG. Of course, he's going to die on point, prevent the payload from moving any more forward, try and stall, but his teammates come back, and you already have 2 of them up.
And no combos up for Envy. Only, let's see, all the ults are really close, only 3 times face up. Now, Ares just kills Rubu. I think it was a disengage off the map, so great by him now. Dangerously low again. Leon wins these trades at long range. To make sure they can play around that. FRZ spamming in main, gonna get aggressive with Sadak, but no one was close enough really to follow up. Sadak's kind of on an island. At least they can trade Rock for this, but that's not the best in this moment. They want that aggressive tank pressure, but it looks like Envy just don't want to move forward off that.
Toki tries to slide his way in, but he's trying to move around and try and maneuver himself to not allow him to be killed, and he's going to be able to pay off in dividends by allowing himself to stay alive. Random Noob is both really, really low, but FRZ already around on the side is able to not only apply the damage, but apply the pressure and get that kill for his team. Is forcing the rest of them back. Sadak once again all the way around in the backside, applying so much pressure in so many different angles. Nice shot from FRZ, and now he's looking at Mr. Hayes, but he's going to be able to get out of there. He's going to try and 1v1 Random Noob, but it's not going to be enough. The daggers and damage are too much to be able to try and fight back.
It's like a tower defense game, dude. SSG just keeps going in, and Envy's like, what? No, I thought I built a turret there. Oh, God, they're all over me. I got to say, props to Toki for his barricade usage. He's been using it to peel for his teammates so much. And that's not the shortest cooldown. I think it's one of Barrack's longest. So having that up for your team is so impactful, especially when you have to use it to keep yourself alive, too. Envy right now, though, on the precipice of being able to push this in. 10 seconds remaining. Some good damage along range. Random diving into the spawn. Will take down Ares so low and actually gets away on his own.
You already took care of him. 3 seconds left, and the overtime is going to be a pretty big factor. Rachal's waiting right around that corner. The Begone gets used, but I don't even know if it even found its hit or found any damage whatsoever. I believe it actually did get hit because Rock Monkey and Rubu are already low in the back. Mental spreading out as much healing as he can. Tries to spread it out, but it's a little bit too much. Random is going to go down, though, thanks to a good crossbow bolt from Ares. They're already in the back on Mr. Hayes, but he's going to be able to be peeled by for the rest of his team. They're able to kill them, take care of them, and make it a potential point push and point capture for Team Envy. They put Luna down. Rachal's still being healed. He's being pocketed, and Sadak is still fighting.
Sadak diving in the back, catches
Nice.
Mr. Hayes. How do you deal with the dive composition when their respawns are right there? They're just going to dive you on cooldown, and that's what they did. That's what turned it. Sadak finding 2 in the end there, and it's such a tough push. Even when I can't believe they didn't get it once they got that cliffside. Again, SSG just know exactly how to deal with it. That Io Nara combo is so impactful. Great body blocks there. Also by Mr. Hayes to keep Rock Monkey alive during that fight. Going into this next mid fight, SSG actually managed to hold on to a decent amount. I think they only really used Begone, and that ultimate's kind of not really the greatest to be throwing out there anyway, and he's already back at 50%, so decent usage there. Every ultimate, though, on the board for Envy. If anything, maybe not having Begone is gonna suck just because you don't really have the answer to assert dominance. That's the only thing you have that's a hard counter, and it's missing. Just throwing on a Hail Mary. They're gonna need more than Hail Mary, I think, to take this at this point. We'll have to see if Scout gets used first so they can catch out this aggression, but what's SSG's adaptation going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty huge. We're trying to find its opportunity. The Hexfire actually gets used. The Fate Flight in combination. You have the Enlightenment. You have ultimates flying all which way in the other, but you only have a 1-1 trade despite how many they were used. The Dome Shield gets dropped as well. It's going to be enough to kill Rachel. It's going to go away, but Luna's been capturing on point the entire time. Through time and space, it's going to find a hit directly on the Willow in the back line, but still, it's not going to be enough. 54% still for SSG, but now Team Envy are able to find their capture.
I don't think I can appropriately say how insane that Through Time and Space is, and how Willow's DR card is so insane because Willow just lived through that unreal Through Time and Space. Really aggressive now from Rubu, and he still has the assert dominance. So not diving kind of on his own. Now they're going to get peeled for, too. They need to find a way in. Maybe having this opening will be enough, but the comeback mechanic means I don't think they can touch it, and they can't.
It's not going to be enough at all. They're still going to be able to capture it. Team Envy making this a 3-3. The Midnight is already there. Sadak is going to take care of Random Noob as well. The assert dominance goes up in the sky, comes up, drops down, zones everybody else around. Mitao all the way in the back is going to try and fire directly at Rubu, but he's holding that corner so well. Sadak being able to fight all the way in the back line. He's already 2v1ing sort of. He got rid of Rock Monkey and Mr. Hayes. Toki was able to last hit him and finish him off, but you still got plenty of time to be able to push and make sure that SSG can have a defense.
Hopefully they can, for their sake. If going down 2-0 would be a very rough look. They've taken Envy to 7 before the World Championships in the past. Weren't able to finish then. They're going to need to find something real special to be able to finish now. Chow getting topped off by the Io. This pocket potential on Inari is so strong. I think SSG might be willing to spend something to find an aggressive offense here, but with only Fate Flight and Begone, I think it kind of has to be the Fate Flight. But FRC's getting pushed so hard, and Sadak goes down in main to the push from Maeve. Mitao has to leave, and now no line of sight to heal anybody.
Oh, Ares in a 1v1 with Random Noob, he's going to take him down. FRZ already low on the side, uses the Fate Flight to escape that situation. Rachel is still going to be able to, unfortunately, be taken apart by Team Envy, and we already see that the nice movement coming out from FRZ. He's going to be able to make sure that he stays on top of those trees and stay alive. A minute and 10 with Luna still being able to contest right around that corner. That is a sweet spot for her, but Rock Monkey is going to take her down.
Yeah, not able to control her really when you're focusing on healing. So much you have to think about when you're playing Io. Maintaining Luna, and maintaining your heal meter, and spamming, and positioning yourself well. There's a lot to think about there. Sadak getting really aggressive on the left, trying to push out Rubu. Ash not fantastic at holding an angle, but Seismic Crash, they're getting desperate. They use it now. I don't think it really connects on anybody. Through time and space might find something, but they barely dodge it.
It barely dodges it. That is a great way to use it, but to be gone! Off of my planet, off of my map. Don't ever try and stop me being on point or the rest of my team. Mitao, FRZ, Sadak, all three of them with a clutch ultimate. Be gone. A perfect usage for that ultimate is going to be able to net them a defense and take Envy to a potential final round on Jag.
Well, listen, if you're going to hit one Be Gone all game, let's let it be that one, right? FRC might overextend for that, though. I think they got a little overzealous after that. They still had to zone. Envy still have much of a chance to touch. Ares might go down as well here, too. Sadok's trying to trade something out, but he might not even get random here.
They're still able, but they still are able to actually take down random. Mr. Hayes finds Sadak, though, for diving too heavily in the back line. Mitao gets rid of Toki, and it's going to be super, super rough for Chow's already low, despite how well they held on. Envy are already back and applying that pressure, but good IO pocket, where Chow has not gone down despite how low he was throughout that fight. Now they're looking at Rubu, a good stun from Luna, the good girl, gonna make sure that she actually is able to peel for her team and cause so many openings. The Hexafire, all the guns are out. So many opportunities for Team Envy to try and push this one in, but SSG are responding in kind with an explosive defense.
This is a perfect defense from SSG. They traded on the point.
Wow, man.
Nobody goes down. Everybody gets so low. Not a single point tank once Rochelle went down to keep the car contested, but you got Ruckus, Cassie, everybody cycling in and out. They used a few more ultimates than they're comfortable with, but they got rid of the assert dominance.
Yeah.
Now the Be Gone is going to outpace it. They might actually have that response once we move forward. Another 3... Oh, man.
Are we going to, Chris, hold on, wait, we're here all day.
We're going to be here till 1 a.m.
How late are we going to be here? Do we have the energy? Well, that's not a question. Yes, I've certainly.
Well, there is a fridge loaded with Monster.
Yeah.
So even if we don't, we can drink it at the very least. Mitao, though, that was a fantastic Be Gone from him to hold this. Oh, wow, good double by him, too, at the end, cleaning up both tanks. And I love seeing Io in this meta. I love how Io is caught on because it's such a unique mechanic that she has. It really shows how deep this game is. Paladins, such a flexible game. Oh my god, Rock Monkey's almost full bot. Rock Monkey only missing Wrecker 3 in his comps, and that's how you can see how grindy this game has been. Scout used early, so they can't do anything tricky. They want to. They just want to hold this, and they've been winning these stalemates before. What's SSG's answer? Yeah,
they've been zoning pretty hard, but Sadak is really the only one that's sort of out there. The Midnight gets used, trying to find its opening. They find daggers on the Luna. They're trying to get rid of her. 54% for SSG. 2 ultimates still available. A good presence is going to be able to chunk Ares in the back line. FRZ still firing. Through time and space is going to go wide, or will not go wide. It's going to go wide right into Sadak and make sure that they find the kill and find the damage, but they're still there. 72% for SSG, and they have not been stopped yet.
Aggressive Seismic Crash here, countered by the Enlightenment, but I think they're just going to find Rock Monkey anyway. Ares takes down Rubu. They have to chase Rock. Rock's not doing anything here, just buying time. They get OT, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
It's not going to matter at all, my friend. The Be Gone actually gets used all the way to the back line to prevent them from doing it, but Random Noob is able to touch. He's trying to run out of there, but unfortunately his Heelys are not going to be enough to try and skate around that point, and SSG are going to be able to make that.
Wow, what a comeback by SSG. To strike back on their map pick, another 4-3. If this is going to be a sign of the rest of the set too. It's going to be very, very close. Both these teams,
can't believe this.
They've been in semis before. They know they can win this quarterfinal matchup. They've both traded back and forth in the last year. And it is going to, I wish I could call for one way or the other, but I really can't.
This is some amazing, amazing Paladins that we're seeing right now, dude. Already a 1-1 tie. An absolutely influential match, too. I mean, shout out to SSG for that explosive defense. I have no words for that.
I think Envy kind of messed up a little bit in the end. I think the panic strategy against a Willow is not huddle up and talk about it.
Right.
They all ran into Dark, and FRZ just tore them apart there in the end. Through time and space, I think, was to try to stop an aggressive dive on top of it because they knew they were stacked, but the time and space missed. FRZ didn't. That's all it came down to.
Yeah, that's exactly how a perfect way to actually phrase it. That is all it came down to. 1-1 tie, man. I'm looking. I mean, this is. I don't have any words. Let's just throw it to break, man. I mean, I don't. This is a good game.
Got 5 games to go, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't. I'm gonna throw it to break real quick and actually see. And right after this break, we'll be right to the next game.
Well, we get another 7-pointer, but this time SSG come out on top. It's another close one, back and forth the entire time. But Space Station Gaming are able to tie up this set. Blue, what do you see there? Where do things go wrong if you're Envy? Where do things go right if you're SSG?
Envy was playing their lanes pretty nicely, but Matau, it seems to be whatever he uses. Furia, Genos, IO. He's just putting these Begons out there, using all of these ultimates.
That's right.
I mean, he's getting triple kills, double kills. He can play by himself, which is very, very odd for a lot of support players, because normally when someone dives you, and we've seen Spunky get dove on a ton of times in the last set, your team tries to help you, or your off tank will turn around and help you. Matau doesn't need that. And Ares was also popping off. I mean, 129k damage. I just talked bad about his Cassie before the start of this game, so he came in, popped off.
Well, only one guy who was not a support player was beneath 6 figures of damage this game, and that was Rochelle on the Inara, but 15, 15, and 11. Lots of important targets, I think, for Ares to have in this game. You pick that big game, or you pick the Cassie, lots of tank melt potential between Rubu and Tolki. There's a lot that you need to mitigate there, and I think Ares did a good job of it.
Yeah, people always talk about Cauterize and Wrecker. SSG had 3 Wreckers. They had 3 Cauts. Neither of those were all upgraded. I think they had 1 Caut 3, 1 Wrecker 3, but most of the time it's about resilience. I mean, look at the other side. You have Maeve with Midnight, you have Genos Lift, you have Ashe assert dominance. On a map like Jag Falls, that assert dominance could make big plays, create a lot of space, shut down doorways, be a zoning ult, and just keep a team from recontesting. So a lot of resilience is coming in, especially for champions, you know, like Cassie, like Ruckus. They depend on that movement. So that's what happened, and they were able to take game 2.
And that shows you kind of, I think, the importance of that pivot potential of the Cassie and the Maeve for Space Station that we had talked about in the pick and ban phase after game 1, where, you know, maybe it's Freeze God playing the Cassie in game 1, and then they send that over to Ares. I mean, 15 and 15 by and large isn't a wild
but a lot of damage on the tanks.
Exactly. A lot of confirmed damage, I think, very important for Ares to be able to find in that game. And SSG, in 7 points, one more time, are able to tie up this set. Map 3, this is your tiebreaker here. Frozen Guard up next. That's where Envy are going to take us. Why might you go to Frozen Guard here for Map 3? It's a little bit slower, a little bit longer sight lines. Do they maybe want to somehow slow this game down even more?
I think so, although you could see an aggressive comp here.
That's true. We have seen some.
I mean, you could take Ruckus here. That's been a big champion for both these teams very early.
I was thinking about Aya.
Yeah. Strix being banned. I want to know if there might be a Kinessa. We should see a Leon, a Cassie on this map. Genos could come into play now that Io has been taken off the board.
Cut it too much for you, Bob!
I'm going to give Toki Barrack one more time, and I think if Envy are able to get the Genos still, they'd probably feel okay with that. Especially with Barrack being the point tank. I like Envy banning out IO. We've seen teams kind of pivot into that double off-tank aggression here on Frozen Guard, so IO bolsters that, builds it up even more so.
Game, you win or
you brought up Leon and Ruckus. Envy are going to grab 2 of them, and Cassie's still on the table maybe for SSG. They love that Maeve Cassie composition, so still in their wheelhouse. But Leon, Barrack, Ruckus for Envy.
Yeah, I think they knew they wanted to take the Ruckus, and if they left Khan open by banning Io, that SSG would take the bait and take the Khan.
I can get us out of
which
here
is why
alive.
they first picked Barrack.
Stay close and follow my lead.
So that they can have that aggressive main tank right off the bat, take that away from SSG, force them to have to use a Nara. Instead, they go with the Ashe for that double off tank. Ashe can play that hybrid kind of off tank. Khan can sustain himself a little bit better than most off tanks, so Fury doesn't really have to, you know, pocket him as heavily.
Sure.
Having a Maeve run around with the Khan on Frozen Guard could be very dangerous as well, especially on that side of the point right there near the, not the wall side, but the stage side.
Right. It is, you know, you have to look out for that in Flame as well. Once those two get rolling on their own, double off-tank aggression is scary, but with those fire wings, for sure, you have to backpedal if you're Team Envy. Thinking about a Genos here. Good to pair with the Barrack, good to pair with the Leon. And death by 1,000 paper cuts becomes a little bit less if you put it on the Ruckus as well. Maybe looking for one more flank here. Random Noob loves himself some Bomb King, loves himself some Eevee, so I would not be surprised, and I am not surprised to see them lock her in.
Oh well.
Yeah, random noob on Eevee. It's been pretty solid throughout the season. On Frozen Guard, it gets a little tricky. You're going to have to blink a lot more than you soar, I would think.
You figured there'd be a Leon, Ruckus, and a Cassie up for grabs here, and all three of them are locked in or hovered, with Cassie being the third here for SSG. And it will be a Cassie lock. All right, so both teams, they get their 5 champions. Maybe aggression for SSG with the Inflame, double off tank, some burst from the Cassie and Maeve as well. Do you think Envy have what it takes to kind of withstand that pressure from SSG?
Yeah, I do, because Maeve versus Eevee, I'm going to put in favor of Eevee. And then you have Cassie, who's going to be trying to put a lot of damage into these big tanks. So I'm going to go with Envy's draft this time around on Frozen Guard.
And it's always hard to say. I think Envy, they kind of cycle back to that comfort zone that I always bring it up with Envy. I think Leon for Rock, Eevee for Random Noob, Tolki, Barrack, Genos behind him is great, and then Rubu on the Ruckus as well. I think you cover up the teams at the top of the screen. I'm assuming that's Envy on the left. We're all tied up at 1. Let's see what Game 3 has in store.
Yes, indeed. Let us see who can be the first to break this tie on Frozen Guard. I'm ready to continue seeing some good Paladins, man. I mean, last set was amazing. This set, I'm sure, is going to be amazing, especially since we're tied at 1-1, man. I just cannot wait.
I think both teams ended up with a pretty solid draft.
Yeah.
Though I think having the Ruckus into the Cassie is going to be a little bit more difficult on this map. Definitely harder to get away with it on Warder's Gate, where there's a lot of... I think there's more places you can kite to, but there's really not on this map. Also, again, triple global ultimates coming from SSG, but now they have the con instead of the point tank of Barrack backing it up. Double off tank, if they can get aggressive enough with the Midnight, with the Inflame, they can turn it around, but they have to do it quickly. Because you know that Barrack's, Tolki's going to be capping the whole time. Tolki knows that's the advantage they have, and he's going to play to it.
Yeah, the first shots coming out to start off this next game, and Random Noob is going to be the first to go down. FRZ takes care of him almost immediately with 15% on the point for SSG. The double off tank just coupled by Furia, as well as both the Maeve and Cassie, man. I mean, this is already looking really, really good for them.
Blink and you miss it, the aggression from SSG immediately. Taking him down and buying a lot of space, too. You can see this trick forth with him there. Now, we'll see what happened on this push. Here on the side, actually, Sadak goes down maybe a little bit overzealous on the zone. He goes back to the point. I think SSG might have to disengage.
66% already. 66% already for SSG, and this is looking really, really good so far right now. I'm really, really excited to see how this is going to keep panning out. 30% to 66.
Random actually jumping up on the side as well, trying to pressure them back. There's no one capping the point because there's just so much long-range poke potential here. Sadak actually might be able to find an opening as he gets closer. Tolki moving into the point finally, but they're kind of ignoring Sadak. Sadak's going to pressure this squishy backline, but he gets pinched by Rubu.
Yeah, already Sadak is going to be the first to go down as this fight is currently evolving. 63%. Random Noob gets hit by the Fire Strike. Just he was trying to go up into the air. He's trying to dive into the back line. Gets a lot of damage onto mid-tower in the back line as well as the DPS, but 90% to 81. The Inflame actually comes out to try and keep everybody alive. They're going to be able to deal with Rock Monkey, but because Rachao was already on the point, he's going to force that overtime. Ares dives directly on, but once again, not going to be enough to try and stop it. Good body block from Rubu. Make sure they can't get back to the point. The 3-time in space is going to actually get used, but it's not going to find any sort of kill.
Actually, Sadak is buying so much time here. I can't believe he's still alive on the point. Still going, even in the face of a dome shield. Finally, he goes down, and Envy take this first point fight on the back of some good ultimates. That Ice Storm, I think, was so impactful there.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 25 seconds still available. SSG are going to be able to make sure they can defend. I mean, they've got the Midnight, they've got the Overpower as well. So the thing is that Team Envy actually have no ultimates up. They've already used their ultimates. The Midnight is going to actually be used to try and start this fight off, though, and that might be enough to try and find a kill onto Rock Monkey, or maybe it won't be. The Hexafire actually comes out. Rubu's in a beautiful spot, just ends up just annihilating the Void Grip Sadak, and now because they were actually doing that damage, they were able to find their opportunity, but still, SSG are not letting up.
They have to find these trades. Tolki is just cleaning everybody up here on the back. Rachao Khan's damage, had to reload, couldn't find anything. A good Void Grip. Catches Rachao, doesn't let him get on Haze, and Mitao wants to trade this out. Smartly, he dies on point. At this point in the game, you gotta go down on point. You give your team time to respawn. Tulky topping the damage charts over Cassie, Leon, Maeve, and Eevee. That is not an easy thing to do on Barrack, but he's doing very well. Backed with that Genos, Luminary does so much to amplify Barrack's damage. Overpower does not connect. I think shielded by Tulky. He's having a monstrous game so far.
A minute and 15 seconds still remaining as the payload is slowly inching towards its goal. And we see that SSG are holding this bridge extremely well. This is a hard point to be able to try and push through. I've seen many pushes die literally right here based off of how good their defense can be. But that is the question. How good is it? Because Envy's already up on top, trying to fire down directly at SSG. They're trying to defend, but we already see that Ares is already in the back line. He's throwing out daggers, but he misses and gets punished by Rock Monkey. FRZ gets dealt with as well. Now we see Envy. They're ready to go. They're ready to play with 45 seconds left, and they are applying so much pressure to SSG. The assert dominance. Void Grip goes up. Sadat tries to come back down, but he dies midair, and 2-0 for Team Envy.
Honestly, thank God for his sake that he died, because I don't think he would have contested the cart. I think if they just let him land, they would have capped, and he would have been one ult less for the next fight. That's in much better shape for SSG going into the fight, but that was so tough by them. The jukes from Mr. Hayes on the other side, keeping him alive for so long. Ares just could not connect the sets of daggers that he needed to. Hayes lived with like 1200 HP for a couple seconds. In the face of a Maeve, that's not that easy. Tulky maintains his top damage too, him and Random, both on a tear right now. Rock, so this is something you don't see every day. The only negative player on Envy. Usually Rock is the, I'm going to stay alive, I'm going to be careful player, but I think Spacestation are trying to flip that around, but that much focus on the Leon might be what's not letting these fights go that well for them.
You know, we saw some of that focus on Warder's Gate as well, where Rock Monkey at one point was, I believe, like 5-11, something astronomical like that. Something we literally just don't see ever. But I digress once again. 9% Team Envy are already in control of the point, or at least gaining percentage of themselves slowly. No definitive kills yet, except for the scout being used at the very, very beginning to find out where Team Envy are waiting. They've got Dope Shield, they've got Alignment, and through time and space, they've got 3 ultimates up to be able to use and utilize to make sure they can try and capture this point.
Toki gets very, very low, actually has to kite away. Much harder fight for SSG when they don't start with an immediate pick onto somebody. Overpower connects onto Leon. Time and Space tries to trade it, but he jukes it, but actually it caught Sadak in the back!
He moves out of the way, but Sadak is going to be caught by that through time and space. Rubu is going to be able to kill Ares as well. You're already missing 2 members of your team. What do? You do exactly what SSG are doing. They're sort of waiting. I don't know if they can even really make sure they can touch, but they roll in. They actually just stop. They get Void Grip right outside of the point, aren't able to touch it. FRZ tries to roll in as well, but can't get that touch either.
That might have been the biggest turn from, I got it, I don't got it, I've ever seen. He went from Commander's grabbing into the point to being Void Gripped into a Dome Shield in front of a Hexifier. Great assert dominance by Rubu, by Sadak, excuse me, to buy some time here, but the cart's moving this whole time. No congestion, that was a waste of an ultimate.
Yeah, the Mental goes down as well as Sadak is being applied. Just so much pressure applied on him just during that assert dominance. I mean, Mental was being dove by random dudes in the back, and really there was no one left alive that could actually heal for him. You've got a minute and 50 still available with the Inflame up for SSG. The Ice Storm is the only ultimate up on Team Envy's side. In response, they're going to use their only ultimate. They're going to use the Inflame as well, and they're actually just sort of backing off. They're waiting. They use the Inflame, but Envy weren't committed to that push. The Ice Storm actually gets dropped, and they're going to take advantage of that. They don't have the Inflame at their back to be able to try and turn this fight around anymore. With Ares gone, that's going to be a huge difference, especially when Rachel follows suit.
The aggression from SSG.
Wow,
they need to be connecting their shots. Honestly, I feel like the movement is just too much from Envy. They're just not finding much of anything, and I don't think they're going to even find a single point. Envy convert that payload and strike back immediately after Jaguar falls and take Frozen Guard.
You know, the synchronized water sip from Team Envy, making sure that they actually are able to break this tie 2-1.
That's the teamwork I like to see.
Yeah.
All right, guys, 3, 2, 1, sip.
All right, we're good.
Yeah,
Drink your water.
Stays hydrated together is a team that comes up in sets, apparently. 2-1 currently for Envy after that. And I think that IO ban was super smart.
I do too.
For sure. I think taking that out, and then clearly that you could tell that's what SSG wanted. They ended up with Con Ash. IO is the perfect pair for that. They could never really contest with Tulky. Got him a little bit low, then tried to strike because they needed to find some advantage. But Envy was always ready. Envy was always finding what they needed to.
IO was definitely a prevalent pick, too, even though it's only game 3 that just ended up passing. I mean, Warriors Gate first time. Envy get it. Yeah, then SSG get it on Jaguar Falls. I mean, even last set, you see the IO actually being used. But once again, game 3 already done. Right after this break, we'll be right into the next match.
Well, a tie-breaking Game 3 is in the books, and Team Envy, they stand strong. A 4-0, the fastest game, I think, that we have had today. About 5 minutes long, and Frozen Guard, no problem for them. Let's brush SSG to the side. Blue, what'd you see there from Team Envy?
Mr. Hayes was better protected this time.
What?
Mr. Hayes was better protected this time.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to kill.
Yeah, so the Ruckus, the Barrack with the Genos, it's working out for them. They're getting what they want and what they've been using throughout the entire season. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't. But when it comes down to when it does work, it's working very, very well and at a high speed kind of pace.
Yeah, I blinked and missed about half of that game. So.
Yeah, that's why it's high speed, man.
22 streak for Mr. Hayes. 3 was the highest streak for anyone on SSG. I don't know. I think if you're Space Station here,
look, Mr. Hayes,
we got to ignore that game. We'll sweep that one to the side. That's what I always these 4-0 just smatterings. I think if you're the losing team, let's just reset. We just got blown out of the water. Let's move forward into Game 4. But at 5-0 and 17, I think you said it perfectly. He was very hard to kill in this game.
Yeah, Sadak only had caught 1. He couldn't even get to caught 2. That's how fast this game was.
Yeah.
That was his only item. So he bought an item at the beginning of the game, and then it was over.
That makes Genos much more effective at healing if you're only able to get to a caught 1. I don't know. It's always that presence with Mr. Hayes. Oh, that is the most unfortunate shoulder bash I've maybe ever seen. Sadak slides right into the way of the through time and space. But it's always that conversation with Mr. Hayes. Vex is along the same line as well. A lot of these supports, Cuss Cuties in that conversation of the offensive threat as well as just doing support things. I can spread out some healing, I can help shot call, I can hit my ultimates, but even on a Genos, Furia is maybe like the offensive support if you really think of it that way. But I think Mr. Hayes has the ability to make some of those offensive plays.
Yeah, what's even crazy is in that replay you can see he's playing very aggressively himself. So SSG just couldn't pressure him. And if you can't pressure him, he's just going to get away with whatever he wants.
He's going to go 5-0-17 and not die the entire game, and you're going to lose in 6 minutes. And now SSG are going to take us to Serpent Beach to try to – I love that I bring up Frozen Guard. I'm like, yeah, maybe to slow this down, draw things out a little bit, and it's the fastest game we've had all day.
The good old Envy Space Station Serpent Beach game.
That's right. There's some history to be had here.
Every single time these guys play this map against each other. You would think that they just G8 against each other.
Yeah.
After one team wins it so much and the other team wins it just the same amount. This is like,
just not go here.
This is like when you watch football and you're like, oh, these two rivals are 110 and 97 against each other.
Right, very close. Team Envy and SSG, much the same in that regard. And Envy, they're going high priority on double off tank early on here. Serpent Beach. Maybe have to consider an IO coming out here if you're SSG. Because I think Team Envy with that Ash Khan, that yells IO to me.
Yeah, there's 4 tanks in these matches. There's Barrack, Ash, Ruckus, and then
Let's go, Luna.
a 4th, whatever it may be. So first pick Barrack, you want to slap that Ash Khan right in there real fast. They're going to try and get the Ruckus. There it is.
They're flying through this draft phase. They're going to lock in Ruckus, Leon, maybe to round things out here. Yeah, I don't know if you can. I mean, it's going to be a Ruckus. Stays alive in this set, now played in all of the games so far. Leon locked in as well, and now Envy hovering, locking in Eevee, or potentially locking in Eevee. These are 2 teams that know what they wanted to play. Ash Khan, if you're SSG, you know they're going to probably go IO, likely a Cassie. Now Envy finally slowing down. There's still 10 seconds left on the overall pick timer. Normally we're 30 seconds into bank time by the time we get to the final pick here. But Envy, now that we have a moment to kind of sit back and breathe, do you like what SSG have drafted for their 5?
Yeah, I do, because it's kind of mirroring what Envy did last game,
100%.
Except for they have the Maeve instead of the Eevee this time. But yeah, I mean, that draft has worked for both these teams in the past. It just worked for Envy.
Yeah, it's kind of a flip almost.
Yeah.
They get the double off tank this time for Envy. There is IO, which is fair. You're right. Maeve stays on SSG side. Eevee potentially could stay over for Team Envy, and it is. It's a bit of a flip-flop maybe in play style here. Very similar drafts, as you point out. Does one maybe yell Serpent Beach to you more than the other?
On this map, I like SSG's composition.
Sure.
I want to know how the Ruckus plays it. Is he going to try and dominate the high ground? Maeve can get up there. For Envy, though, they have IO. That's worked out perfectly for a lot of teams. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go with SSG.
I don't know. Flip a coin. That's what it seems to be here. Team Envy, if you have Mr. Hayes Undying, you're probably going to win. Casters, take it away for Game 4.
Indeed, we shall. Thank you for passing us the game. Envy, once again, breaking that tie, making it a 2-1 over SSG. And yeah, they did flip stuff. I mean, they have the Mabel on their side, but SSG literally mimicking Envy's composition on Frozen Guard.
I gotta say though, I think I'm leaning Envy. I think double off tank plus IO is really strong on this map. You can cover so much ground up top.
Yeah.
You can take their high ground, just cap the whole time, and really deny them any sightline, any chance to poke back at you. So I think it's a great look from Envy. Not banning IO might make things a lot harder for SSG.
Right, and that's going to be a lot on SSG's conscience to be able to try and deal with that Luna. Really just aggressively, or really I should say respectively, because of the fact that they need to make sure that Envy just don't get that momentum going. They have double off tank. We've seen what IO with double off tank can do before. It is such a staple already that has created itself through qualifiers week and through today as well. You got to be careful when you have this aggression.
And I think SSG might be able to stem the aggression too. We'll see how it ends up going, where they decide to roll out. Looks like IO actually coming up top first, probably not to put Luna on point though. Starting actually just by focusing the heals on the team. Now Luna will drop towards the point. Testing right on the very edge. Great flank by Ares. Disengages in a flank duel happening in the backside.
Yeah, we already see that once again. That FRZ is already locked in. The Rock Monkey is going to find that first blood almost instantly onto Ares. FRZ has to back up. He does not want to be able to try and one-on-one, quote-unquote, with random noob, especially when the rest of Envy's team is watching. But they've got 24%. Envy now surpassing that limit, making themselves at 36 and still climbing. Once again, SSG, they're the ones on the back foot. They have to make their way back in.
Yeah, early cap times can help SSG a lot, though. It means that they're not as concerned. Envy weren't building time during that whole period of Xiao. It's back on the point now. Trades even more cap time. Token getting forced out by the damage, but no control by SSG up top. They're starting to get wrapped and surrounded. Rubu in a great position up top.
42% to 69. Team Envy is trying to make their rounds and make sure they can actually capture this point. Ares is again on the side. He's pretty much firing at random noob as well. He eats a lot of damage, but isn't taking down too much. Now, SSG are on the point. They're able to actually control this, but they have to back off already from the Barrack eating too much damage. He can't stay on for very much longer. Sadaka the back line, but good kill onto Mr. Hayes. They got rid of the healer. Now they're able to focus things down, but who else can touch is going to have to be FRZ. He moves in, has to move right back out, and the fight's still breaking out. Toki solo, the shield goes down, and so does his life.
Sadaka already charged the Hexafire. He had it and used it. Rubu finds something with the shoulder bash, kending Sadaka on the side. 87%. If he has Void Grip, he actually might be able to stop Rubu from touching.
Wow.
He gets to start dominance, but the grip, he dies in the air. Great daggers by FRZ, and SSG steal that point away from Envy.
Mr. Hayes had just respawned and died again, literally bursted by Ares. FRZ locked in a one-on-one once again with random noob. He's trying to move in, checking to see if he's anywhere around. Gonna try and fire directly on the point. Once again, they're taking their time. SSG are not moving up too quickly. They see Rubu on the side. He's gonna have to charge it. He goes directly onto Ares, using the Assert Dominance in the back just to try and create space for his team to be able to move up and capitalize.
That was almost perfect peel by Rochelle, but Random was waiting on the other team's boundary just to have that other spam angle. Aggression from Sadak forces Ruby to back away, and SSG might have been able to stabilize on this high ground. Rock, maybe actually a little forward, but Cassie has so much mobility, able to get away. SSG now, this is how you want to take this. You want to go on this side. Good idea on the time and space. Be gone. Doesn't save Mr. Hayes, and teams trade supports.
Yeah, Mittal's going to go down, so is Mr. Hayes. The overpower comes through. An already low Rachao. He's going to be dealt with just so that they can have this aggression. They're going to be able to charge that ultimate back up as the point is progressing. But Leon's being dealt with by Rubu, of course. FRZ and Ares are trying to look at Rubu. They deal with him despite him being so aggressive, and Rock Monkey goes down as well. The Void Grip comes out. Toki is actually getting shot in his feet. He's going to be the one that's going to end up dying as well.
That's good comms by SSG. The reason they were able to deal with that immediately. Rubu dives over to fight Ares, and FRZ immediately reacts. Dashes over as Maeve splits Rubu in half. Now Rubu says, oh, I need help, I need help. They all come in, but they're not fast enough. SSG has more damage there. They overwhelm them, and then Envy finds themselves in a losing fight. That's what turned that around. Now Envy's on the defense. This is a huge defender's advantage point, and you can already see how much damage Envy's dealing to SSG.
But FRZ is gonna go down. That's gonna allow them to be. That's gonna allow Envy to not only create some space, but force SSG to back up and away from the point. 40 seconds. The presence goes out, but a good ice block. Make sure he does not eat too much damage. That way they can keep this pressure and this zone going. 35 seconds left, and still remaining for SSG to try to convert this point.
There's actually a way for Sadak to get up to the second level from up here. He has to do a backwards jump. Oh, never mind. You can just do it like that. I thought you had to do some like weird backwards tech. It depends on what level of fuel reserves you're running, though, how you have to do that jump. But he's able to take up top pretty easily. What a
nice!
dive!
What a dive!
With FRZ over the side!
That's absolutely amazing. FRZ and Sadat coordinating themselves so well, using the Midnight to find that opening and capitalizing on that. Assert Dominance actually goes out, trying to make sure they can put that pressure on FRZ. He's going to go up. And did he get out? He got out of the situation very, very well timed by FRZ. Once again, he makes it out. The Ice Storm goes down. So does the Dome Shield. They don't want to give up any ground. Toki and Sadak trade out lives one after the other. Rubu's going to go down, though, and now they're focusing down on Rock Monkey in main. Luna's behind him, but they're not going to be able to contest point, and Rock Monkey's forced back.
I think they might be able to take this actually. Random blinks out. He doesn't have a way to get back into touch. No ice block used, and SSG just push it right under Envy's noses.
Man, oh man, we see such a response from SSG in this game to try and even things up. They've got a 2-0 situation round-wise, point-wise, but game-wise, Envy's still in the lead. SSG want to even this up.
And that was so well timed up top. And actually, I think the biggest savior there was Midtow. Midtow void gripped Rubu when he was trying to chase down FRZ, and was what let him get away on that Mave. And yep, okay, Fuel Reserves 2 is the level you need to be able to make that jump up top. Most important, the key part to that jump that he did was getting that little boost from the wall, from the rubble on top of that area before he got up there. For those of you who don't know, because I actually don't think the game tells you this anywhere, or at least maybe in some of the tooltips around, but you do jump higher when you're looking at a wall. I'm sure most of the people watching this know that, but maybe not everybody. Early time and space, not connected by Midtow, so that ultimate's off the table. The combo is even for it anyway. Only Hexafire left, and honestly, only a Hexafire was enough for SSG to win the fight last time, so not a bad look for them.
Yeah, Ares was watching, making sure that Random Dude wasn't going to try and blink back up. He wanted to be able to get that good shot onto him. But once again, everybody's healed back up 21% of 27. The percentages are close, but the fights are even closer. No one's stepping on point. Everyone giving each other respect. The first that's going to go down, that's going to open up the floodgates for either team.
Good positioning by FRZ actually behind them here. No overpower. It's getting close, but FRZ versus Random. FRZ should have the upper hand in this matchup, and he takes down Random in the back line. That's going to make things a lot easier for Spacestation.
I already said it. You find the first kill in this fight right here, and the floodgates are open. FRZ and the rest of SSG are taking advantage of that. They are pincering them. It is so hard for them to move out. The battle shot and the healing for Mr. Hayes is going to be enough, but will it be enough to save him? Good overpower as well. He's still going to be able to die. He actually hits FRZ with Ares, but the point is still captured by SSG.
They were so distracted by the flank that they just didn't move to the objective. They held on. Toki held onto that for too long. And now, SSG, they're going to get zoned in their spawn, but they have 2 minutes to make up for it. They're going to get pressured back, but they have all the time in the world to find their opening to start moving this paper.
2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining as the point has just been captured by SSG, making this a 3-0 situation. The Assert Dominance goes out, so does the Ice Storm. And once again, FRZ has to move all the way around. The remaining members of SSG have to back up. They've already lost 2 of them. They don't want to stay up any more longer than they need to. Toki's going to use that battle shot to heal everybody back up, and they're going to be able to hold this ground.
We'll see how long it can be for. There's a huge advantage to the team with the high ground here. You can tell Toki already very low. Now tries to trade into him, but I think SSG might have found their opening elsewhere. Enlightenment goes out, does not connect, but that's not going to stop SSG, and they might pick Rock Monkey in main.
Minute and 35 seconds remaining. You actually get a good shot directly on the Luna, as well as a good presence on the Toki. He's looking extremely low, but no one's over there to actually capitalize and try and find that kill. Good shots from both Rock Monkey and Random Noob to pressure Sadak and Ares, trying to make sure they cannot come over that bridge. They actually take too much damage and are forced to back off. Good daggers from FRZ once again. He's going to be able to go up in the air, try to focus down on Rubu. Rubu's trying to charge out. He's not going to be able to make it. He actually gets Void Grip in the middle of his shoulder bash. He's going to be dealt with. Random Noob in the back line, drops the ice block just to give himself a little bit more immunity. But all he's doing is delaying his death. He goes down, so does 4 members. And the 5th one on Team Envy are going to be taken out. And a minute left for SSG to push this.
A lot of damage right now for Ares, topping the charts. Actually, only just above Rubu. Having a phenomenal game on this Ashe so far. I guess that's what happens when you don't have to play against the Khan. Khan's such a hard counter. And SSG, a lot of ultimates here. They could spend some stuff. Midnight, Hexafire through time and space, all things that could turn this fight around. And Hexafire might be the one that does it, and the shield doesn't block him! Perfect positioning!
The shield was not enough to be able to block that for Rock Monkey. He's gonna get melted. It was dropped down to try and block, but once again, not enough for them to be able to handle. Random Noob actually blinks in, use the wormhole to get back out, trying to find some damage on the mid-tower. Wasn't gonna be able to find it though with 20 seconds left. SSG have their time and opportunity to try and push, but FRZ is still gonna go down with Rubu backing off to regroup with his team.
Rock might have gone, sorry, Freeze might have gone just a little bit forward. I think I heard an Ice Storm potentially back there. Yeah, maybe 12% left now for him. Sadak goes upper. SSG, couple options here. They could try to go for a time and space. Rashao still contesting the card, but speed gone. Might try to stop it, but it hits the wall. It doesn't connect.
It does not connect at all. Sadak's all the way up in the top rope, but he's going to be dealt with by Team Envy, who are ready to respond in kind. The Enlightenment comes out. They actually find the damage on the Rubu, but no kill. FRZ with a double. The three of them are already low and in the back. Here comes the assert dominance all the way up from the top rope. You got the elbow drop, but FRZ is not giving up. He's on the point still. The shoulder bash off of the point, and still FRZ is going to go down with a 3-1 to Team Envy, netting their first point on Serpent Beach.
So that assert dominance being out of the picture is so impactful. That's so much time that you buy for your team with that ultimate. Now, I mean, Ruby's doing a ton of damage. He could potentially charge it up again, but it could be so difficult. Sadak playing so fantastic on this Ruckus. Such a key pick all throughout the set. I don't expect that to change anytime soon, especially with the quality of Sadak and Rubu, but Rubu's aggression, sorry, Sadak's aggression was really the key to what got SSG this team wipe.
Yeah, I mean, once again, 3-1 SSG are looking absolutely clean right now with how they're pushing their rotations. Everything is firing on all cylinders, and they have to make sure that they're able to do that, especially with the aggression that they have. 2 ultimates up. They've got the Scout. They've got the Overpower as well. Through Time and Space is available and ready to go with the Midnight steadily building, as well as the Dome Shield. Through Time and Space to try and open things up. Goes wide, though. Midtown's not going to be able to find that shot.
They won't expect it twice in a row, Midtown says, but unfortunately they, and so did everybody else, did expect it twice in a row. Sadak getting pushed back really hard, actually. Look at this aggression. Giving up cap time for this, though. 30% already for SSG. If they don't get staggered too badly here, it might not be over for them in this match.
Yes, Sadak is already trying to fight back, but FRZ actually finds that kill onto Random Noob despite being on the side. The Overpower goes out, but goes wide, does not actually find the mark, doesn't hit it at all. Rachao is there, Luna being the one to actually have that cap time. They have Dome Shield, they have the options that they need to be able to try and convert that. The barrier actually goes out, and now they're able to get back on point. Now they can gain their ground and force Envy back right up onto that bridge. The rest of SSG have found their way back, and once again, the point percentage is steadily building on SSG's side.
I don't know if I like how hard Tolkien just disengaged to try to deal with the flank. Actually, Rock flanks Midtown. Where is Midtown peeking? Mr. Hayes so low, but he barely gets away.
Barely gets away is a perfect way to phrase it, because he had a fraction of health and still made it out. 97% for Team Envy. The touch is there, but still are going to be able to back off. Nice daggers from FRZ, but it's not going to be enough to try and stop this point capture for Team Envy.
FRZ's just toying with Random now, but Random, there's no way you lose a fight with that much of an advantage. He takes him down, and now SSG have to hold on this defense. Ruckus, though, on defense on Serpent Beach is so... such an advantage to have him, for sure. He can dive so far into the back. You can't really stop him. Against the Ruckus, your support has nowhere safe that they can hold.
Right, exactly. And they have plenty of time to try and not only round this corner, but try and convert this payload push. And you've got 2 minutes still available with Ares all the way up in high ground. Midtown right behind, giving buffs out to everyone. But Sadak, it might be a little bit too aggressive with how he played that. It's going to end up going down. FRZ tries to make sure he can get that kill on the Rock Monkey, or at least was looking for him, but he's not going to be able to find him. They're going to have to back off. And already dashing in. The Assert Dominance is going to be able to kill Ares as well as keep himself alive. They want to be able to push us in, try and tie up the score, make it even 3-3. But still, the fight is not over, and neither is the round.
Midtown dies on point, everyone else just disengaging for that respawn. Sadak, not sure where he's holding right now, actually. I think it's, yeah, he's far behind them, so able to flank later, and they know it. And actually, off that damage, maybe he could have done something, but Sadak tries to flank the other way. Be gone, hitbox isn't big enough to get him out the door, and he might go down to Sadak here.
He tries to use the Lunar Leap to try and maneuver his way around, but he's still going to go down. Random Noob already low, but FRZ comes into orange, tries to avenge his fallen comrade, and it's going to work out. But Rubu, once again, coming around to support Random Noob, is going to keep him alive, as well as keep this aggression and this zone going.
This 2-2 is for sure sided towards SSG, though. That's why Envy's disengaging. They spawned so close to the fight that SSG still had the upper hand with those trades. Sadak controlling this area up here is so powerful. Random getting very dangerously low. Ruckus is going to be so good at pressuring the backline. He went for Hayes last time, found the kill. Yes, he traded his life, but removing that healing from the game was huge. And actually, Hayes just walks into Ares' sightline and gets picked by the Eminence.
Already 35 seconds remaining with Team Envy going to try and convert this one in, or will they? They've already had a lot of pressure and a lot of damage spread out between them, which is why they are biding their time and not pushing up as aggressive as they could be. They're taking their time, trying to weigh their options here. They don't want to convert or try and push something in that they don't see in the cards right now.
Only overpower and scout up for Envy, and I don't think they want to spend them. Too important for mid when the game is potentially on the line. SSG probably won't spend much of anything either. Sadak flanking onto Hayes. Luna has the stun available though, and that actually is enough to kill Sadak and save Hayes.
Ares, Sadak, FRZ. FRZ is going to be able to trade it out for Mr. Hayes, though. He's going to find their support dead, but with already the aggression that Team Envy are able to put up against SSG, this could be extremely dominating and might actually end up with a tie. But the Enlightenment from Ares is going to give him some immunity, but he's not going to find the kill, and he's not going to find the mark at all. It's not going to go down very, very well for SSG, as it's going to be a tie for Team Envy.
I don't know about that call to use the Enlightenment here. I guess it's the ultimate that is the least... It's the most willing to be used, right? Because if you get a kill with it, at the very least you get 50% back. You'll have it up again when it matters. But not having it there, I think, is just too impactful. It's out. Putting more value on Rock Monkey missing than his own jukes, and I think that's a mistake. Rock Monkey will not miss if you're moving predictably like that for sure. Shao also, great peel there to save Hayes. Might have been what turned this fight in Envy's favor, and now another 3-3. After that 4-0, we're back to normalcy here. SSG are going to fight for this final point. Be gone. Ice Storm already used on the other side.
Oh, man.
So it's going to come down to just whatever ultimates find the most. I'm putting a lot of pressure on this Hexafire.
Yeah.
Sadak's been finding it all throughout this game. He's going to have to continue to. It's so hard to find impact with it on this map where there's so much high ground you can kite behind, but I think if anyone can do it, it's going to be Sadak.
Yeah, I'm laughing because it's like, once again, we find ourselves at a .7. Who will be the ones to take this? Will it be Envy and make it so that they're 3-1, or will it be SSG? So far, it's looking like SSG, but a good overpower to start things off directly on Rachel. He's going to hold him right up. Rachel is being dealt with. Random Nuke is still really low, but 36% on the point. Envy have not touched yet, but they just dropped down. Now they're getting percentage for themselves.
If no one else dies, then this is actually fine. FRZ's, I think, just trading back and forth with Random here. Now ahead of the goal. Knew the wormhole knew the blink was coming in. Now Random is very low. Through time and space, what they're waiting for. Actually, he sees them stacked up top. He might go for here. This could be a good time to use the time and space, but he holds off. He wants something for sure. Uses it now, but it's too late. He misses, only hits Luna, and that's an ultimate out of the picture.
Yeah, now Rubu already sees where he is, goes all the way to the back line. The rest of the team is trying to fall back, but it's not going to be enough. The kinetic burst is going to be too much. Knocks Midtown right off the side. Ares gets dealt with as well. Freeze God, Sadak, Rachel, all of them are being killed one after the other. And if you kill the team, that means you killed the game. That means you got yourselves 3-1 against SSG.
You can't hesitate. This is that point where you have to be doing you have to be playing decisively. You have to. He saw 3 people stacked up top and Luna, and he held off on the time and space. There's no combo on your team. Maybe you can Hexafire them into the angle, right? But they didn't. They Hexa-fired in the same spot he was shooting. Maybe just one more split-second decision, and the SSG could have had a chance in that fight, but either way, Envy struck first, went in with the Ice Storm, went in with the Assert Dominance. Midtown holding Stellar Wind, makes him glide off the map. All these little things add up, and Envy are 3-1 up right now over SSG.
Yeah, man, but I mean, if this game has been any indicator whatsoever, is that SSG has plenty of fight left in them. Once again, it's 3-1 in Envy's favor, but SSG are not going to go down without a fight, I'm sure about that.
They've had 3 map comebacks before.
Yeah, they have indeed. We'll have to see if that's going to be the case, though. We can only see that if you guys stay tuned right after this break.
Apparently all we've got are 7-point games or 4-point games, and this is another one of those 7-point games. Team Envy, they go down early, they're able to fight back, and they take Serpent Beach, and now they take a 3-1 lead into our 5th game of this set. Backs against the wall now for SSG. Blue, they got to turn something around here. That they've gone so close in a couple of their losses. The 1-4-0, like I said, kind of brushed that one to the side, but now we've had 3 7-point games, and they're getting so close but can't close it out.
Yeah, and it all came down to Rock Monkey on the Cassie. Early on in the game, it was Ruckus, just like the other games. Ruckus was dominating for SSG early on, but then Rock Monkey started to get his cauterize and his wrecker.
Yeah.
Into late game, that really hurts the Ruckus. And, you know, even on the high ground, Cassie was able to pinpoint where he was, take care of him, put a lot of damage out onto him. You know, it doesn't show that he has that much damage in the scoreboard for that being a 4-3, but it was damage on the correct targets at the correct times. They were able to take that victory. And then right there, wrecker, cauterize.
That's all you need. That's all you need on that Cassie. I do have to give a shout out to Rubu. Top damage on Team Envy and a great looking slash line on an Ashe nonetheless. So making that one look good. Trading out those off tanks, 11, 4, and 25 for him, 98,000 damage. But I agree. I think the kind of coming online of Rock Monkey was maybe where this game started to shift back in Team Envy's favor. Once you kind of get those wreckers there, 3 cauterized 3s by the end, a couple of wreckers spread out onto different targets, different champions on Team Envy. And that's really what you have to wait for. You kind of withstand that in the early game. Then you can look how they shut down Sadak down to 7 and 11. Rashao as well, 2 and 10. A lot of that thanks to Rock Monkey.
Yeah, Rock Monkey was putting a lot of damage onto this Ruckus, which was the cornerstone of that SSG push there. He had the wrecker, he had the cauterize. If you look at the other side, Ruckus did not have Haven or blast shields. He had resilience, which does help because he was running big game, so you know, he won't get knocked back as far,
right.
But he's still getting that extra damage once he hits you with that. So Ruckus, he went Bulldozer and Cauterize, I believe. So, you know, he's targeting the IO in the barrack, but
Does that surprise you maybe, especially with a Khan on the other team as well, not to get any sort of Haven?
Yes and no, because if Cassie is just hitting you very hard, I understand with big game that resilience will help you with the knockback. But at the same time, you're getting hit with the blast and the Haven damage. Then on the other side of the spectrum, Ruckus is like a sitting duck when he gets stunned. And there's a Luna on the other team from the IO, so that hurts. So I understand why he went resilience. That is a good play. But once that happens and Cassie's still targeting you, someone has to help you with that, Cassie, or you have to learn to adjust mid-game to get away from the line of sight.
Yep, reposition, reprioritize. Splitstone Quarry is what we've got for Game 5. Team Envy 1 win away from moving on to the semifinals over Space Station. And 3-1 almost doesn't tell the story of how close this set has been. If you're just now joining, 4 games in, 3 of them went to 7 points. Envy took 1 of them, 4-0. Now Splitstone Quarry for Space Station Gaming. Seems to be the last line of defense. I mean, it's not specifically Envy, but remember earlier in this year, Envy were up 3-1 over Natus Vincere. Natus Vincere proceeded to win 3 straight and win that set. Just a regular PPL set, so a little bit of difference in maybe intensity and laser focus there from Envy. But it has happened and could happen. The Team Envy, if they have their say, the set ends right here, right now, and they start prepping for next week.
All right, so this was SSG's map pick, Splitstone Quarry, another good Ruckus map. If I was Envy, I would have let Atlas through.
Sure. Why is that?
We said earlier, SSG doesn't impress me on Atlas. That way you can get Barrack Ruckus or Barrack Khan.
Yeah.
And you can get your aggressive comp that you want to use. Because right now, if they still want to play aggressively, we're going to see the Ruckus taken. So Envy can go Ashe here.
Right.
But I like Barrack Ruckus on this map better. Khan is good on this map, but if you don't throw him in the fidget spinner or in lava,
Right.
you kind of have to have the ultimate coordination. You know,
You hope there's burn.
the
Right.
turn and burn. So I don't know if that will be as prevalent. I mean, I like the Ruckus Barrack, but I think they should have let Atlas through on this one.
Sure. But that is not the route. They win. Atlas sits in the ban column. SSG looking for a better performance from their Ruckus here. Team Envy now have a pivotal couple of picks. I was going to say, I think Cassie was so important for their
Rock
win
Monkey
condition
played it
in the
well.
last time. Give it to Rock Monkey one more time. Give Random Noob the Mave. And they still have a chance at
Welcome to the
either an
new
Inara for
Kitten.
Tulki or another Ashe maybe for Rubu, who had top damage on his team in the last game. Envy in a good spot to kind of play pivot with that last pick if need be. SSG, they opt for a similar draft on their side. Barrack, Eevee, Ruckus, Leon, Furia. Looks like maybe an Inara here for Envy. Again, this is a fast draft. These are two teams that seem to know what they want. It's kind of they're trading. Either SSG's draft is copied and pasted to Envy in the last game, and they are almost swapping similar drafts, but just for each other every given game.
You could go triple DPS with this solo Khan. We've seen it a few times this year, and with success, especially on maps like Splitstone.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll move towards that. I would. You're up 3-1. It's not like, you know, you're trying something, but maybe you don't want to show everything in your arsenal.
Yeah, but you can't take your foot off the gas for one moment. SSG, if they have taken you to 7 points in 3 of these 4 games.
Plus, Inara with Genos is not that good of a combo.
That's true. You can't really. It's harder, I should say, to sustain an Inara fully as.
I say go
with the
triple
Genos.
DPS. If you're not going to go triple deeps, take the Ashe.
You know, actually buy into that. I mean, Inara, I think gets better, of course, with damage amp as everyone does, but the healing amp maybe helps out a little bit. But it's much harder, I think, to fully resustain an Inara with a Genos as it would be maybe with a Damba or something else. Does that Inara kind of sway who you're feeling in this draft?
Yeah, it does, because, I mean, you're going to give a heal to Khan, Cassie, and Maeve, and if you have to give it to Inara, which of those other 3 is not going to get one? It would most likely be Khan, because he can self-sustain himself, but Khan with that Luminary is just so good. I like SSG's draft here. They got the Ruckus again. That's been working well for both teams, minus last game where the Cassie kind of shut it down.
That's true.
Can Rock Monkey do that again? That's my question, but
That's the big question.
I like SSG here.
Maybe it hinges on that Rock Monkey needing a big performance, but they'll look for Sadak to turn things around on that Ruckus maybe a little bit. Plenty of spots for this Ruckus to find areas to be effective, whether you kind of move up through lava side, look down on platforms, stay up on the high ground. Plenty of areas for that Ruckus to feel happy and comfortable. SSG, they need to win 3 straight. Can it start here in Game 5? Let's find out.
Let's find out indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, Cassie on the other side being able to counter out that Ruckus. And we're looking at a situation where this could once again, Splitstone could be the map that ends this entire set.
It's possible, but I agree with Blue that I think SSG do have a pretty solid draft. It's not a bad draft on the other side, though, either. Although Inara Genos is always going to be risky. It really is kind of relying a lot on their DPSs, but what 2 DPSs are you more willing to rely on than Rock Monkey and Random Noob, both world champions in the past? Now here under the same amount of pressure. Expect them to be able to perform again. This makes sense to go to a draft that is a little bit reliant that way. Though Barrack Ruckus on the other side is going to be really hard to deal with. Ruckus, very mobile on this map. Eevee, Leon, both also very mobile on this map. They have a lot of options. It's all about SSG picking the right ones.
Well, they're already finding the damage on Rachel, which is going to force him back and to use his escape tool to make sure that he doesn't end up dying. Of course, they're actually able to get that focus fire, but FRZ doing really, really well with just applying that damage. It's a good shot on the Random Noob, which forces him to back off. And 36% for Team Envy. SSG have yet to actually touch and really stay on the point to try and get that for him. Sadaka's gonna have to back off. Daggers go out, but the emitter comes right back up in the nick of time to keep him alive. 42% for Team Envy. FRZ gets Void Grip, and now that's down. Now that might be a chance for them to actually move in.
Random's buying so much time back here, actually, unless FRZ keeps hitting shots like that. They are in position to touch the point, though. Tulki won a little bit of time with the wall. Has to use the Earthing Guard as well, but overtime is still in the cards for SSG. Aggression for Rock Monkey on the side, catches out Sadak, but no big game means he might survive. Still, though, Rochelle walks off the point and finds Mr. Hayes.
Yeah, I mean, 18% to 96. Team Envy are controlling this point and seemingly controlling the map for the very, very first point of Splitstone Quarry. Midtown's all the way up in the back, though, putting out those heals.
I love Envy not capping here. It's actually great because that means there's no OT for SSG to be able to gauge when they can go in. It makes the chance of a mistake so much higher. But the pressure was too much. FRZ constantly wormholing and they were unable to get it. Mr. Hayes, though, goes down to the blink from FRZ.
Sadok's all the way in the back, but he was able to buy time for his teammates to find those kills. He drops the Ice Storm, but it's still going to go down. The alignment comes out from Ares. They're forcing them all the way back, or at least trying to make sure they can keep on that pressure going. You have the Midnight come out, but the Inflame gets used immediately in response. 57% to 99. Toki's still there. He's going to try and Commander's grab him into the fidget spinners, but it's not going to be enough because SSG are in control of the point.
Yeah, I can see that coming from Space, and so did Ares. He backs off of that. And Toki Earthing guarding very early. Probably not able to touch the objective because of that. DR running out now, gets stunned, does not make it. No overtime. SSG get the first point. Great look for them. Look at this aggression from Sadok, too.
Yeah, already on the side, applying that pressure, forcing Random Noob all the way back and away and into mines. Random Noob is going to go all the way back around, trying to find those daggers. He's going to find them onto Midtown, which is going to have his health pool. He has to be careful how he's approaching the angle. And speaking of an angle, what an angle to actually land that overpower on the Ares. As soon as he peeks, he knows exactly where he's going to be. Through time and space on a Sadok is using that Hexafire. No one's going to go down yet except for Ares. Sadok's going to follow suit soon after that. They already see that Midtown's over there. He's going to try and put that pressure on him. And he's looking forward, but FRC just comes right back around and try and protect their support. He's putting on the pressure, but Midtown is still going to go down. That's going to force FRC to back off.
Yeah, I love the idea of just holding that Hexafire through the time and space. Just like, yeah, I don't care. No, chunk me for 2,400. That's fine with me. Very, very silly thing to imagine, but Envy now in this very strong defensive position. Khan watching the backside, Toki holding in main. Random able to kind of get away with whatever he wants here. Rotate up and around. Rochelle gets dangerously low very early. Great position by Rock to burn him down, but I don't think they can find that kill.
Yeah, already Sadok applying that damage. He's forced to use the emitter. He doesn't actually end up getting too much spread out onto him. You've got about a minute and 15 left for SSG to try and turn this around, but they've got the Dome Shield available. The other ultimates are coming up. Toki being extremely aggressive, watching this zone, looking for his opportunity to actually try and go in. He's not finding any yet, but the fact that SSG are not giving up any ground whatsoever, they are still holding on very, very roughly, but still, it is there. The Inflame is how they're going to want to start things off this next fight. As soon as they got it, they use it, and Rachow's pushing up, but no kills yet. Stock actually has to be peeled off of Random Noob. Rock Monkey's really, really low up on the bridge, up at the back line. The daggers come out directly onto FRZ, and that is still not going to be enough. The Midnight comes out, Ares goes down thanks to Rubu, and now they're looking at the Baron. The Baron tries to use his escape tool to get out of that situation, but all he can do is find a couple rocks.
The healing from the Astral Mark actually barely saves Random at the last moment. Ruben now in the corner, just baiting FRZ. Great Commander's grab, too, to catch him in that last second. And a couple ultimates traded back and forth. Inflame in the face of a Midnight. And we now aren't going to have that for the next mid-fight, more than likely. It's a pretty fast charger, depending on how aggressive Random wants to be in his defensive position. Just too much for SSG to handle right now.
I mean, 10 seconds still remaining for SSG. You have the Enlightenment, you have the Ice Storm, you've got Dome Shield, you've got 4 ultimates on the Envy side. Plenty of them to also be able to pick from. If the shot goes out, they're already looking at Toki, but Sadok is going to go down. Ares finds Random Noob, which that's going to be good. They're evening it up 1 for 1, but the Barons are already pretty low. FRZ is actually going to find the kill directly onto Rubu, and it's going to be a quick pause real quick. And SSG already with the 1-0 lead. They've got 3 ultimates up, and Envy still have their 4.
It was actually great dash timing by Rochelle on the point. We were watching the other fight, but he barely timed his bowling balls to be able to stay alive for that overtime. Now they're going to move back in. I believe Sadok is still alive to get the next retouch. So great timing there. There's a lot of card push to go, though.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to convert. But they can at least maybe recharge some of their ultimates. Unfortunately for them, it's also going to charge Midnight again, but they've shown they have the answers to that for now, so I don't think it's the end of the world.
It is definitely a tall order for SSG to try and make this card push all the way until the very, very end to net them that second point in the round. But, I mean, they're not doing awful. It's just Envy's defense is just too hard to break through.
It's Rock Monkey, I think, more than anything. I think what they need to be doing on these offenses is keep Ares all the way back on their high ground, because Rock is kiting back into the upper area, right? So I think you kind of bait Ares super hard, as in like he baits, not you bait him.
Right.
Stay on the up top, out of Rock's sightline. You send FRZ in, Rock will probably roll back into the cabin, and that's when Ares can peek. As soon as FRZ blinks in, that's when Ares peeks. He should be able to hit the Eminence. That should kill Rock. And I think that's what they have to do to break through, because Rock is basically 100-0ing Rochelle.
Right, exactly.
And FRZ and Ares.
Right.
alone, more or less. I mean, Toge's doing a little bit of damage, but it's kind of all in the back of Rock.
I mean, you saw the aggression in the beginning too, just so prevalent on Rock Monkey. But Ares, Midtown, both of them are going to be able to find 1 kill apiece, and that's going to be able to net them a lot more aggression. Rock Monkey forced it back into mines. Overtime is available and ready to go. I mean, they have to be able to heal that Ruckus back up as well. Once again, overtime is there. That means, considering how long that's been up, when they get forced off a point, it's just
it's going down immediately.
Yeah, it's going to deplete. Oh, well, I mean, looks like it might be going down a lot sooner than they think, and they use the Inflame to try and capitalize on that, but it was too much. Ruckus could not stay on point. They literally have no charge coming in the next round.
At the very least, though, they traded for Hayes. They got some credits back in response. This is for Shao on that mid fight, I think. Very, very strong presence. This is when he dove in to finish off the Midnight. Even without the scout, he knew exactly where Maeve was, connected every shot, and that Inflame damage boost was enough to make a difference.
Yeah, it was indeed. Once again, that is very, very unfortunate, but like you said, they were able to trade out Hayes for that, so that's going to be really important for SSG to be able to have some of those credits, try and build themselves up slowly. And Flame will charge back up pretty quickly, but they've got 4 ultimates still available on SSG's side. Team Envy, though, also have 4. The 5th one, almost in the form of Midnight. Everyone on SSG is literally just worth more than Team Envy are.
Rock is also undying right now, by the way. And I'm not sure what Rashad was waiting in spawn for. It looks like it was Resilience too, just to deny some Midnight value. And Rashad waited so long that their time and space had no one to hit, so it worked out perfectly. Ares holding defensively, but he comes back in and immediately gets overpowered.
Unfortunate for Rachao. He's going to be able to get overpowered and dealt with accordingly. 30% for Team Envy. Once again, a 1-to-1. And first, he's all the way in the back, directly applying damage to Random Noob, but he's going to be able to take him out. That's going to be huge because the Ruckus is also in the back line. They're going to find their opening. This is going to pincer them. It's going to put on a lot of pressure. Rock Monkey is ready for it. He fires, gets a lot more damage onto FRZ than he gets onto him.
That was actually a great peel by Seduction. Body blocked the shot.
Nice
Hexifier. Rashao pushing them back into it. There's no way to run, but Rock Monkey barely makes it away. Commander's grab doesn't save them long enough, and the seismic crash misses.
Beautiful, beautiful pincer right there from SSG. Now they're staring directly at Random Noob on the Maeve. He's throwing out the daggers, but he's going to go down still. Double kill for Rachao, and that's going to net them more percentage. 18% for SSG, and now they have control of the point.
I actually stand corrected. That seismic crash connected onto Midtown in the backline. So Midtown's coming back from spawn, but that's fine. That's a fine place for your support to be, especially when they have so much range on their heal like Furia does. No ultimates on the board. We are just a regular ultless Paladins. All abilities here. 3 people moving into the quarry. I don't know if they can force Rashao off the point.
FRZ versus Random Noob, and actually Sadok's going to be the one that comes right back around, but they deal with Rachao. Now the percentage of being gained towards them, they are making sure that Random Noob does not have any space to breathe. But look at the rest of the team. It is so difficult for them to try and find their opportunity to push in now. Sadok's already super low. Don't know if they were able to touch. I believe they're actually just backing off for a little bit. They were able to touch Kazi overtime, but once again, they lost the fight. When they lost Rachao, it became a lot harder for them to try and convert.
This protect the president, and the president being Rock Monkey's strategy is working so well right now. They just can't kill the Cassie. I think maybe a death earlier, but still, Rock is finding so many shots that are so impactful right now. Random using that has the ability to rotate up and might catch out Rashao in the retreat.
Oh, okay, well, FRZ actually does take care of Rock Monkey, so that's going to be good in terms of defending, but Ares is going to go down, so Doc tries to come right back around and try and feel for his teammate. He's going to be able to burst Random Noob down, firing shots right into the back of Rubu is going to leave him a little bit more than needing some healing. Rachao, though, is going to be able to make sure that he gets rid of that kill. They're actually just piling up in terms of the aggression that SSG have, and not only that, the bodies that they are actually building too.
It's like they want to get really aggressive on this zone here. They used the Inflame even in the face of a scout. I don't know if I like this decision, especially since the Overpower just came out, but it did not connect.
Yeah, the Overpower did not connect. Sadok is already really low. He's still going to be able to be gotten rid of, or at least I should say taken care of by Rubu. Shot him in the back. He was already really, really low. They already see the back line. They know somebody's back there. They're trying to deal with that, at least try and make sure they can force them all the way back. Random Noob once again. Just keeping on so much pressure, rotating around, throwing out all these daggers. So is Rock Monkey. Envy are looking really, really good despite having lost that first point fight.
Rock is playing like one of the best players in the world for sure this game, but I think Random's doing well as well. Wall drops down and trying to catch FRZ with the seismic crash, but he just holds the ice block the whole time. Yeah,
he does not give an inch at all. Random Noob is the one that's actually going to go down despite that. And because of this, they are still in control. They're looking at 1-1. Rock Monkey is so low. He literally just needs to be sneezed on, but it's not going to be enough still. He's not going to be able to land the one pivotal shot that they needed from FRZ to try and get that kill. 2-1. You've got the time and space. You've got Overpower. You've got Midnight. You've got a chance to be able to push this payload in and try and convert. But Sadok already trying to make sure he can get rid of Mr. Hayes, and he does.
Sadak just trying to throw his life away on the cart. Trading for the support is honestly just a plus at the end of that. FRZ actually trades for random up top. Should be able to get away too. This Commander's Grab will be waiting for him, but he should soar. Rock Monkey though, perfect position to take him down. Rashao now just wants to buy some time on the cart for the spawners to come back in, but can't throw away his life. Not when the cart is this close to a potential 3-1 lead for him.
20 seconds remaining, and so many people are getting shot at. So many bodies are dropping one after the next. But the question is who will be the one to convert this? The end flame actually comes out. The dome shield gets dropped. They force a random noob alone is able to do that. You've got 5 seconds left and remaining. They just want to be able to have their chance to fight, to live, to make sure they can try and make this potential comeback on SSG's side. Toki is going to go down. Rock Monkey rolls in to get some more overtime contest going on, but no one's going to be able to keep that pressure going or try and keep that moving because SSG are going to be able to defend.
The perfect positioning by Sadak, I think, was what flipped it around. Sadak coming into the middle of the back line, forcing Tulka to use all of his cooldowns early. Getting rid of that Inara contesting the point, it's so hard in that last area. That's not an easy point to push. You can get completely surrounded from the high ground. And Khan, as you know, is pretty much the worst tank to have against high ground control. Made it way too easy for him to be burnt down. So pretty much guaranteed for SSG. And they strike back. We are at 2-2. Another even point fight with no comeback mechanic. Mr. Hayes, pretty high on the death counter too, only below random noob, but I think they're willing to throw Hayes' life away to keep Rock alive, I'm sure, because Rock has been such a force so far in this map.
It is so crazy to see this at a tie once again. I mean, it's not surprising, more so just the fact that both of these guys are going to throw out the 2-time in space, but it's not going to be enough regardless of that. It's going to go wide, not going to find his damage or a hit or a kill or anything, except it might allow them to have some more percentage on the point. 12% is all they've got, but still, they are steadily climbing. The overpower actually goes out. They make sure they take care of Ares. The Hexfire goes out as well. They're trying to focus on Toki. He's just trying to find an opening, trying to dump these bullets onto somebody, but Mid-Tower is going to get that last hit onto Rubu, but it is still not enough.
A little bit of an overextension. I think Sadak maybe rushed it a little bit. Now Rashao has to die on the point, but look at that time already. 40%. That might not make it possible to retouch, especially with Mid-Tower staggering himself here. He did die on the point, but he died so late. 60%. They have to send either Ares or Sadak to touch, and that's not who you want to see there. Sadak, it's not going to be him. He's dealing with Random. They're on the flank side right now. Random gets away basically unscathed. So low HP. Envy has complete control of his footstone right now.
Yeah, they are not pushing it whatsoever. The communication is not there either because Rachao goes in, but the rest of his team is waiting back. He is not able to stall at all. They're staring at Ares now, making sure they apply all of this damage as much as they possibly can. They take care of him. They take care of Mid-Tower. Sadak is going to be the next on the menu for it down, and still plenty of time to push for Team Envy.
Such a strong mid-fight from them. Complete control, I would say, living through all the Hexafires, more or less, that Sadak's been doing now. They see everything coming before it happens. Very aware, good idea of the game state. Rock Monkey extending so far in front of Ares, but he knows what he can get away with. Such a smart player, gets away from Sadak too.
Oh, wow.
Barely at the last moment, the Midnight might keep him alive.
They're trying to keep him alive at all costs, but he's still going to be taken down. Mr. Hayes is going to be able to get that last hit on a Sadak. He was so low thanks to Rock Monkey. He was able to capitalize on that regardless. Toki is going to be the next. Rachao with the young double kill with 1 minute and 35 seconds still left. FRZ is putting that pressure on Mr. Hayes. They're trying to kill him, but the rest of his team is already there.
But you see how hard they have to commit just to kill Rock Monkey. They had to use Midnight, dive all the way into the back line, and even then he almost lived. He lived through so much. Right now, though, SSG's not really holding that forward defensive position too strongly. I think it's on the back of Random. He goes so vertical, stop them from doing it. They flank from behind, and Rock finds Ares. He's dominating this game.
That's absolutely going to be insane coming up into this next push. Rock Monkey, Rubu, the two of them, Toki, 1 kill apiece, making that 3. A 4th one will be in the name of Rachao. FRZ's trying to stall as best he can. The ice block drop directly onto the point, but still 1 minute left. Envy have not lessened up at all whatsoever. They could end up pushing this and winning this set against SSG.
Don't forget, this is do or die. Lose this set and you're going home. Envy is on semi-final HRX point here. Seismic Crash coming into the dome shield, but Toki just buys time. I think it's more than enough. What is this Ice Storm finding?
That's what he's doing. He's trying to buy time. The overpower actually goes out but goes wide. He doesn't find the mark. 30 seconds left. You've got the 2-time in space as well. How many ultimates are you willing to commit, Team Envy? How many ultimates are you using to push to try and find this opening? 2-time in space on Sadak is going to go wide. wide, but still, Mitao is going to take down Toki, but you have a double kill for Rubu, and they're still holding on just barely for SSG.
Rishao's buying time on the point as much as he can, but I don't know how much longer he can survive. Damage from Mr. Hayes takes him down.
That's going to be it. I believe Team Envy are going to be able to push this in and take this game and grab their invitation to HRX next week.
What a fantastic performance by them against SSG. SSG, until a couple weeks ago, has had their number all phase. But Envy, if there's a time you're going to turn it around and pick it all up, it's going to be right before HRX.
Previous world champions making their way back once again to the world stage. My goodness, absolutely amazing play coming out from them. SSG, no slouches whatsoever to take Envy to every single last point except for that map is still a testament in its own right. Still, congratulations to SSG for making it this far.
Yeah, good performance by them for sure, but I think Envy were just on another level today. And this is the level they're going to have to stay at if they want to keep this moving forward. It's a good look for now, but they have to maintain it. We've always talked all season about the inconsistencies from Envy's roster, but this is a Envy that could repeat the World Championship.
Yeah.
They're going to be aiming for that for sure.
They are indeed, once again, previous year's world champions, now once again finding themselves at HRX on the main stage. I mean, only the top 4 teams, man. I mean, this is looking really, really good for Envy so far to be able to take that 4-1 over SSG. We're not going to hold you any longer. We're going to throw it back to the desk to get their thoughts.
Thank you, Fawn and Chris. Great job on the call, and now we have 2 teams with their tickets punched to the semifinals at High Res Expo. And in a year where SSG had dominated this matchup, let's reflect back. 3-1 all-time SSG ahead of Envy this year. 3 of them, 4-1s in favor of SSG. The last time Envy won, it was a 4-2 in week 12 of Split 2. That was their one and only win until today. And Team Envy still with a chance to defend their world championships at High Res Expo. Blue, I don't think SSG, they couldn't get the momentum going today.
No, they definitely couldn't. And Rubu finally got to play Khan in the set, and he dominated on it, as he usually does with his off tanks. He did very well with it.
He did.
A lot of good overpowers, which I doubted on this map because you can't, if you're going to throw them into an environmental hazard, there's only 2 really.
Right.
So the turn and burns. Very quick, very precise.
Yeah.
Good communication from them. A lot of damage coming out from the Cassie once again. Rock Monkey really showing up on that Cassie and able to dish out a lot of damage. Spreading the caught as well. Look at that. Caught 3 again. Ruckus went resilience again, which I can see happening with this lineup. But with no bulldozer needed, I mean.
Yeah, right. He could build into really what he needed to. 14, 7, and 24. This is really what they've always needed. Envy, they have some of that consistency with a lot of their roster. Ruby doesn't necessarily have, bad games, but they need him to kind of bring what he did today. I think that this is exactly what Team Envy needed. They have a tough loss on the last day of Split 2. They're able to come out today, convincing 4-1 win over Space Station Gaming. Rubu, he showed his flexibility today. We saw a little bit of everything out of him. Saw the Khan, saw the Ash, saw the Ruckus. It's not a guy in a meta where off tanks commonly, banned out. That pool is so much smaller. Rubu can play it all.
That was. Did you see those replays? He did not even hesitate on who to shoot. He knows. Rubu knew where everyone was at a specific time. As soon as he killed this person, his team would call out the next target, and he instantly turns to them. He heard the Hexafire come online, and he was already looking at him straight away. So that was a great job by Rubu.
Well, Mr. Hayes, October 25th, he tweeted, "We have a pretty solid idea of what we need to do to be the best team possible heading into High Res Expo. Don't count us out yet. We certainly did it. They pull out a win here over SSG 4-1, and wouldn't you guess it, they're sitting by with an interview."
Welcome in, guys. Congratulations once again for qualifying yourself or really just making it to HRX next week. And how are you guys feeling? Once again, a dominant performance over SSG that could not have been an easy task for sure.
No, majority of those games were really close. Just minor adjustments, made us win the game. But it feels really good to come out on top.
With the patch having just come out, did you guys manage to get decent practice on this patch in the last couple of days?
I actually didn't think the patch really changed too much other than Atlas. So I think teams adapted pretty well to scrimming on the patch. You could just ban Atlas. The changes aren't too bad. I think the Cassie and Leon stuff, you kind of just have to brush to the side and just play around it.
Since the start of the season, SSG has kind of had your guys' number from Phase 1 until now. But your last match with them, this match with them, you guys have clearly changed something up. What is it about SSG that you guys have figured out over the last couple months?
I think they have a very similar play style to us. Leading up to this set, like yesterday after scrims, we went home and we just worked out drafts and talked about what we wanted to draft and how we wanted to play around those drafts for like 3 to 4 hours. So we came in really prepared for the set, and I think it showed.
Was that why the drafts were so quickly? I was going to say, does that mean you guys kind of had each other figured out?
Yeah. We were trying to pressure them, you know.
Makes sense. I remember they also had the fastest draft of all time in the past. I don't remember if that was against you, but you have those strats prepared. But now that you're going up against the Knights next week, maybe you guys didn't really expect that one going in. How much is still up your sleeve against them?
I think we'll be fine. I think we'll have time to prepare and adapt our drafts and be able to study them and see what they did versus Navi. So I think as long as we have time to prepare and we do the work, we'll be good.
I know a lot of people were expecting Ruckus to be really impactful in this set, but I don't think people were expecting Io, maybe the bans and the picks, to have as much of an impact as they did. What led to her being so impactful?
I just think that Io encourages aggressive play, like being able to put the dog on cap and taking your 2 tanks and pushing outside of the map is really, really strong. So on certain maps, it was worth banning it. It was worth taking away and playing around.
I just like feeding my brains out on IO. I just enjoy that.
Good, because we're very close to doing that before. And on Frozen Guard, compared to the other maps, that was the only one that was like a 4-0 clean. What was so different about that map? What was it, the IO ban, just having that much of an impact?
I think that's just a map that we practiced a lot and we really like. And I think they gave us a draft we're really comfortable with. So I think that's kind of why.
It was also the only map that SSG lost in the qualifier tournament, so they're probably not that comfortable on it.
All right, well, you guys clearly did your homework, and it showed. Congratulations on your win over SSG to book your ticket to DreamHack Atlanta HRX and the semifinals. Stay tuned, guys, because after this break, we're going to have NIP versus Renegades.